Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys better call us if something happens. If you get something, you better freaking call us or text us.
I'm going
Twitter.
in Barry and Big D's turf.
That's
this is
right.
the Omaha Tribe's
They
turf.
decide what
I
they
am
say.
just a visitor, a guest. It's
I'm
all
excited.
up. Like I said to Barry tonight, it's your call. You give the lead. Yeah, and that's what we do.
If Barry says I met a Sasquatch, then I met a Sasquatch. If Barry says I haven't met one, then I won't meet one.
No, he'll probably just dress Fat Boy up in a costume again and scare the shit out of you.
So one of the things I didn't get around to announcing was I had a meeting day before yesterday with the closest tribe to the Canadian border. I've been basically hired, contracted, basically grabbed by the throat for one of the counselors, past chief, who's been in the council chambers for 29 years. And we're going to build a Washington State's first Sasquatch Bigfoot museum with a heavy American Canadian First Nations cultural component. Nice. With cabins for research and everything else. It's the Lummi Indian Reserve, and
that sounds
it's
so
going to be huge.
Awesome. I want to be involved, man.
Oh God, this is just monstrous. Like I couldn't believe I came back.
Man. I want to be involved in this. I was out there one time at my uncle's house, and it's way in the boonies. And he had this circular house with a circular house with a tin roof. Never seen anything like it. It was really weird. And then it started raining these golf ball size hail, and it hitting the roof like that. It was freaky. And he had purple beans in his garden. I remember that too. I was a kid at the time, and he showed us. I think I was about 10. He showed us this where he brings the kids to the school, and he has to take a gun with him. And on the way across, he showed me where the Sasquatch are, and he showed me their footprints.
Wow. So you're Canadian, right? You're based in back east?
I'm in Ontario, but my uncle lives in BC.
So I'm hooked in with the Casino tribe now, the Lummies, and we're going to be doing a First Nations American Indian conference here in the fall. So find me some Indians in Ontario that are, like Barry and I, very tight with the Sasquatch.
Okay. I can do that.
I
have friends with the natives here, yeah.
Yeah, like this podcasting, the American, what do you call it? What do you call it? Monster Castle or whatever? Yeah. I've talked to Wes Germer about this, but he ended up going down Woo Woody, his brother's path. But, so it's a dead end now. I'm not going to pursue it no more. But if we were to start another podcast with a First Nations American Indian lean, and you get, Barry and I on there and others.
I can find another one, yeah. I'm very good and tight with the Oneida tribe here. And from there, they know all the other ones. So, and my bass player
give me someone I can talk to. And, if we can do once a month or once every 2 weeks a podcast with you that's heavily Canadian First Nations, American Indian.
Well,
Sasquatch, we're doing a television production. And I don't want to get Peggy to have to buy the podcast material and deal with the software and deal with this and that. I'd rather talk into a digital recorder, email it to someone that knows how to podcast, and get a damn good show going with the First Nations and American Indian lean.
I can do that for you, sir.
Ours is free.
Yeah.
I can do that for you, sir. No problem. Yeah, no problem. And we'll try to and all we got to do is just advertise on Twitter, on Facebook, and everything, and we'll get everyone listening.
I'm going to be pretty busy for the next few days or next week. But if you can, I'll touch base with you on email, and if you can phone me and educate this engine on how to work this Twitter fucking thing, and we can get more exposure for what we're doing together.
Oh, I know. Barry, you mean?
Yeah. No, me.
Yeah. He's talking about himself.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
Don't know his way around Twitter.
Oh, Barry needs help too, though. He's got to set up a Twitter account and a Skype account as well.
Well,
Okay.
yeah,
It helps with your exposure,
Yeah.
and you would
Hey,
sound
Tom.
way
Hey,
better on
Tom.
the air.
yep. Go ahead,
One of
Barry.
the things I think we need to look into is the Skype, because while we're squatching down here, we could see if we could Skype in and give them a report if that's what
Hell
you're looking
yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Wolfman.
I'm on Skype. I'm hooked up to Skype and Twitter. The thing we need to ask you, Barry, is when we're out there next Friday, Saturday night, are we going to be hooked up to cell? Can we talk on our cell?
Or
Yeah,
Skype.
you can.
Yeah,
You can call my.
There's certain.
No, I mean Barry.
Yeah.
Barry, are you in cell?
We will.
So do you want to do something next Friday, Saturday night with
do a live broadcast.
Mike?
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
Fuck yeah!
Man,
Do we have anybody booked?
I think I have Friday off.
Yeah,
Friday's
sure do,
available.
Thomas.
No, it's up to you. It's your turf, man. I'm going
Next
into
Friday.
your territories.
I'd love to do it. That would
I'm
make
game.
a fucking year.
Next
Hey,
Friday,
hey,
guys.
Tom, let's do it. Wolfman, help us get
I'm
hooked
in.
up.
I'm in.
You know, there's
I'm in.
areas here where
I'm
we
all
can.
the way in with you guys, man. When I found you, Barry, I looked and searched for a native Sasquatch researcher. This is what I wanted on my show, and now I got it. My dream has come true.
You got two of the best
Yeah,
in
I
North
know.
America.
I got two of the best, and this is nobody else is covering it.
No,
You know what
and
I
we
mean?
got to go big with this.
Yeah.
See, Barry and I need exposure for what we're doing,
And I
and
need exposure too. Show people a cool show you can listen to that does stuff like this, because nobody else is doing it.
In our
But-
two shows with you, Tom, are our two best. They're very
seriously,
good.
think about it though. We might want to change. We have to actually. I'm going to be full disclosure. We have to change the name from Monster Castle to something that's indicative of the American Indian, Canadian First Nation. So
If
we
you
can look at
want
that,
me to
Pat.
change
I
the
can
name
sit
of
down
my
with
show,
Barry,
that's
I can sit down with you and discuss it when I'm down there.
Okay, we can set up a whole
Yeah,
different
that's
show
a good idea.
just dedicated to this research. Yeah, that's not a problem.
Yep, we'll make a third show. We already
Yeah,
have
that's
two.
not a problem. I can do that in a heartbeat. I can make up a new logo for it and everything. Yep. And it'll just be around Sasquatch research, nothing else.
I personally like the name Res Squatching,
That's so cool.
Yeah, I like
and
it
the
too.
logo rocks.
Yeah.
And his,
All right.
if we could use his logo, Jesus, that thing's awesome.
What do you think, Barry?
There you go.
I can do it. I
Yeah,
can
I
use
love
your, and it'll be Res
I love
Squatching. It'll be the Res Squatching Research Radio.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey, very
I'll have
exclusive
to make a new
us,
song.
me and Tom, because we're the ones who are doing that. We're the ones got our foot in the trenches and doing the legwork.
I love it. Moog Boy says Tales from Turtle Island. That's pretty cool too.
There's already that one's already copyrighted.
It's already
Else,
copyrighted.
Turtle
okay.
Island's already taken.
All right.
Besides that, and people in Europe and Australia don't know what Turtle Island means.
That's true.
And Sasquatch Island, that's tied to the show, so it's a copyright issue. Where Res Squatching, it encompasses all of Canada and U.S. We
No,
all refer to our reservations as the Res.
Okay. So I want to call it. I already decided. I want to call it Res Squatching Research Radio, and then use
Nice.
Barry's emblem because it's beautiful, and I
is.
can't top that.
No. What do you think, Barry? Can we use your emblem?
What's that?
You don't mind, bro? If we, it's our radio. It's yours too, man. It's everyone's.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little more about it.
Yeah, man.
Wolfman, I love the concept. I love that the broad reach it has and the potential. So definitely let's talk more about it. I think I gotta get with my brother.
Okay.
Hey Thomas, let's talk about that when you're down here, because I would love to go do some kind of Skype and give you guys a report or allow. I got some relatives who live out in that area where it's really squatchy, and they would allow us to use their internet. I can set that up while we're out there.
Nice.
Well, if you want to use this, just let us know. We're here for you guys.
Yeah. You bet, man. Well, I appreciate that.
Jeff, are you still there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Right on, buddy. So it's Rez is spelt with a Z.
Rez.
Yeah.
R-E-Z.
Yep.
Zed. Zed is dead.
All right. Now.
Yeah, we call it the Rez here in Phoenix when we go down to the Rez.
And what do you get there?
We get fry bread.
Oh wow.
We go to the UFO conference.
Yeah. That was on the
juggling with their microphone.
No,
So
me.
you-
I dropped it.
I got a
Trying to-
question for you guys. You guys
Yes.
do this UFO stuff, right?
Yeah.
You got to get me on.
Okay. Well,
Thunderbird, quickly, Vanilla. I got
Okay,
all
well,
kinds of
all
stories
right.
about Thunderbird.
Okay.
being a
Hang
UFO.
Hang on. 2 seconds. Boom. Okay, you're on. We're live.
You're funny.
I'm not kidding.
Are
We're
we
live
live?
now. We're live now.
All right,
My
what do you
grand-
have about UFOs?
What do you got about
tell us?
UFOs? I got to hear this.
We're Kwakwakiwak, otherwise known in the history books as Kwagyutl or Kwagyok, but we call ourselves Kwakwakiwak. Our territories of 16 different tribes encompass northeastern Vancouver Island and off the top end over to the west coast of the Koskomo tribes territories. But when I was a young boy, I was in Alert Bay, where I was born and raised for the first few years of my life, and I was going down to a place called Grassy Point, and my grandmother asked me when I got back to the house, "Where were you?" I said, "Grassy Point." "Who were you with?" I said, "Oh, I was with my friends, and they left. And I was down there by myself, and I was doing this and doing that." And she goes, "You don't go down there by yourself. You don't stay down there." I said, "Why not?" And she goes, "Well, you see that?" And she pointed up to the jet trails. And I said, this is late 1960s, probably 69. And I said, "Yeah, what about them?" And she goes, "Well, the Quiquicwanala, the Thunderbird, they say that when the first sailing ships came, that's what our people called them, Quiquicwanala, Thunderbirds, because when they put up their sails, it went boom, boom, boom when the wind caught it. It reminded our people of the Quiquicwanala, the Thunderbird." But I remember when I was a young girl in my 20s, and we saw airplanes going overhead, and they made rumbling noise, and we saw the big trails behind them of clouds. We thought it was Quiquicwanala, Thunderbird, coming back, because the old people spoke about the stories long before the non-natives came here, about how they would hear the rumble of thunder and look up and see the silver thing flying through the heavens in a straight line.
Cool.
And you would hear the sound of thunder, and you'd see that clouds behind them in a big long line. And I said, "Oh, I think they call them contrails." And we talked about this a few years later. And she goes, "I don't know what they're called. We just know that the Thunderbird's been coming to Earth for thousands of years." And it
Did they
always,
land?
well, we have stories about them landing and catching whales and all kinds of stuff. But I
What?
always
Catching?
remember-
What? Wait. Wow.
well,
Holy
This
shit!
is-
Yeah. You're throwing a lot
So-
at us, man. Tom, you're throwing a lot at us here.
That's
Well,
a lot.
well-
I mean,
so if we go into the paleontologists who study the bones that they find that are fossilized, they know that down in South America, Central America, there was a great condor that flew, and by the shape of its beak, it was a marine mammal, marine fish eater. And they say it's conceivable to say that that condor would have been able, big eagle basically, would have been able to fly down and capture smaller baby porpoise, dolphin, and go to land and eat them like eagles do with their fish. Now we hear the stories about Quiquicwanala, the Thunderbird, flying through the heavens with a blanket of clouds beneath it, and you can't see it. But they say from time to time it would swoop through the clouds, and with its talons it would capture whales and bring them to the top of mountains and eat them. And when I was a young boy, my grandfather on the commercial salmon seine boat told me, and he pointed to a mountain called Mount Stevens, and he goes, Tommy, they say that that's where the Thunderbird would fly with the whales it captured in its talons and eat them. If you go up there, you'll see whale bones. And I'm like, yeah, sure, Dada, because that's what we used to call my grandfather, Dada. It's sort of, I guess, a pet name for grandfather. And he goes, no, I'm serious, Tommy. You go up there. I've heard from the old people that there's whale bones up there. So years later, after he died, I was working for my father with the Federal Department of Fisheries and Oceans in Canada, which is equivalent to the American Fish and Game Commission. And we were flying with helicopters doing salmon enumeration in river systems, basically counting salmon spawning to know what the returns were. And we used to work in the morning in a river system, and then we'd fly over the mountain to the next river system. But we would stop on top of these mountains and we'd have our lunch break. You know, you're getting paid by the government. You're in a helicopter under charter. Helicopter pilot's doing his job. And you'd stop up in these high alpines. And it was just amazing to be up there above tree line and chewing on your bologna sandwich. And you're just like, holy smokes. And I would walk up to these little pinnacles and I would put my arms out and I would spin. Why? Because I could. And I was up there. I was up high in those alpines. That would take you hours, if not a day or two, to climb up from sea level. And we were working this river system, and Friday morning, lunchtime, we were flying over the mountain peaks, over to the next river. And the pilot in the headphones, he goes, hey, Tom, we're going to deck down and have lunch. I'm like, no, let's go to the next river. We'll just eat our lunch on the go down below there. I want to get this done. It's Friday. He said, yeah, okay. So we got down. I wasn't thinking about getting to Vancouver Island to get decked down, signed out so I can go to the pub and, you know, go play pool and drink beer and have fun. It was Friday, end of the week. I was thinking about what I wanted to do that weekend. So we finished that system early that afternoon, and he's like, so where to now? And I'm like, oh, let's go back to Vancouver Island. And as we're getting ready to leave, I go, how much leftover lunch you have? He goes, I got a bit. I said, you got a survival box in your helicopter? He goes, yeah, I got survival food. Why? I said, I bought another 4 packs of smokes last night. I said, when you take off, drop me up above the tree line on that Mount Stevens. And Monday morning, pick me up and bring the lunch out for me. He goes, for what? And I said, I'm going to stay up in the Alpines for the weekend. He goes, what are you going to do that for? I said, I'll just look around. It's end of August, beautiful summer weather. Sure enough, he goes, yeah, I'll pick you up Monday morning. He dropped me off. I had my packs of cigarettes. And I grabbed my bag, and he looked at it, and he goes, you got a gun in there? I said, yeah, I snuck my 12 gauge on. In Canada, you're not allowed to fly around in helicopters with rifles. And so anyway, he goes, okay, I'll see you Monday morning. So I jumped out, had the survival bag of food and the leftover lunches that him and I had. He took off back to Vancouver Island, and I just started walking around up in the top of that mountain. Next morning, Saturday morning, I'm walking around, and by lunchtime, I went around this part of the mountain. There's 4 peaks up there. And this one peak, I noticed it was all shale deposits. And as I got around the edge of this peak, lo and behold, there it was, whale bones. And I looked closer, and I knew damn well it wasn't whales. And I realized it was that type of saurus that used to swim in the water you see in the books and everything. Wow. Long neck, big teeth, head like a crocodile almost, but shorter. Flippers. You could see all of that in the shale, in the fossils. And I sat there with a flathead screwdriver and a chunk of rock, and I chiseled and I chiseled and I chiseled. It took me probably better part of 4 hours, 5 hours, and I got a fossilized tooth of that creature. I still have it in my collection, and I remember looking at this big, huge dinosaur fossilized that used to swim through oceans millions of years ago. And I thought about my ancestors who went up into the Alpines when the snows were seeded to harvest mountain goats and pick mountain goat wool that was all strewn about in the bushes and everything, get their medicinal plants and their foods. And all of a sudden they stumbled across that very fossilized dinosaur. And they scratch their heads and go, how the hell did a whale get up here? And that's when they knew of the stories about this giant eagle that used to fly around the Americas that would capture fish, small baby porpoise and dolphin, fly up high and eat them. And that's where this legend, the story of the Quiquixpanala catching whales came from.
Oh,
And
that's freaky,
that's how they
man.
explained seeing that fossil up on top of that mountain, because they didn't understand about dinosaurs, fossilization, plate tectonics, how the bottom of the sediment of an ocean could be pushed up through plate tectonics, through continental drift, and be pushed to the top of a mountain above the tree line in the Alpines.
I'm
And
impressed. I'm totally impressed with your research and wisdom, sir. You know, plate tectonics. He's going from Bigfoot to plate tectonics here.
It's connected somehow.
When I was a young boy, they used to call me Dilton Doyle because my cousins, who were all older than me, I was the second youngest in my line of male cousins. And I was a chubby boy with black framed, big, thick glasses, big mess of hair. And I was always reading books. I remember at one time I found this thing called the Encyclopedia Britannica. And I was so enthralled that from A to Z, everything was spoken about. It took me weeks, but I read my way from the Encyclopedia Britannica from A to Z. Then I found another encyclopedia. Then I found libraries. And then I would, at grade 8, leave Vancouver and go to Shawnee Lake Boys Private School. I would take creative writing, and I would win a full scholarship to Simon Fraser University for creative writing journalism. And I would go there for 2.5, 3 years until the price of halibut went through the roof. And being a commercial fisherman, and it was eat hot dogs and craft dinner or go fish halibut for $6.50 a pound plus. It's easy to make a decision. I went halibut fishing. I never did get my degree, my BA, but I learned so much. And when I got back from fishing, I was so enthralled about this thing called edumacating an Injun that I would rent an apartment in Vancouver. And I said, I want to study archaeology. And I went to the University of British Columbia, and I sat in the auditorium and I read the notices for the students. And I went every day like clockwork. And I went to archaeology because I wanted to learn about all of the stuff that pertains to my First Nations Indian background and the archaeological deposits throughout my traditional territories and other places. And then all of a sudden one day I started debating with the professor, and he got pissed off because I kicked his ass in debate. And he goes, "What's your name?" I said, "Tom Seawood." Next day I came to class. All of a sudden he goes, "Mr. Seawood, you're not enrolled in the University of British Columbia." I said, "Oh, no. I just went commercial fishing. I got lots of money, so I paid for an apartment, and I've been coming here every day listening to you and others." And they wanted to kick me out of school, but they couldn't because I was educating the professors so much on the anthropological and archaeological part pertaining to being a Kwakwaka'wakw Coastal First Nation. So they allowed me, so long as I paid them $500, I could stay in class, which I did. And I said, I'm going to leave pretty soon. Salmon season's starting. All my life, been in pursuit of knowledge, and I've gone to places like the Eastern Seaboard, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina. I've gone into the archives, Victoria, Vancouver, Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and I just immerse myself in the archives and read logbooks from the sailing ships that used to ply the eastern and western, mainly, coast of North America, and stopped in the villages that I know of called Kalahuis, Mimkamlis, Jajisnuchumi, Yalis, Baas, Chakis. And those are my homelands. And I've sat there with a woman or a man with the gloves on and our face masks on, and them with their plastic or ivory page flippers, flipping the original logbooks of American clippers and British ships that came around the Horn and came to the west coast of British Columbia, Washington State, and Oregon. And I read what the captains and what the first mates wrote in those logbooks. And now I can correlate in my mind to what I read and what I know as history from my people orally what I've read in books, what I've watched in TV, and I read now on White Man's Magic called the internet. It's always been a pursuit of knowledge and what happened back then. And that's why I can talk about things like Junahua, the wild woman of the woods, and the wild man, male and female. I can correlate it to what is Gigantopithecus blacki, what is Homo florensis. Why do the...
I actually took offense when you said white man's magic, because I don't have nothing to do with their shit. And my magic, I don't need the internet. I can actually read people's minds and telepathically communicate with people. So I don't need their shit internet.
I call bullshit.
Yeah, that's why
I was born with the ability. My brother and I could always communicate without phones or anything.
I think you've been piddling too much.
Well, anyways, there's my 2 cents worth about there. Anyways, I don't know what you'd call that magic. I think it probably comes from some alien technology.
Oh,
without a doubt. Aliens were here thousands of years before any European or Chinese or Japanese sailor of the Ainu culture ever showed up in the Americas. You know, you look at all the stories, Quiquicwanala, silver, lights, jet trails, thousands of years before European contact and Chinese and Japanese contact on the west coast of the Americas. Yeah, undoubtedly. We've been visited by extraterrestrials. I was in Cancun, Mexico, or Tulum. I was in Tulum on the east coast of the Yucatan Peninsula, and I'm looking at a pyramid. Well, I already knew that there's pyramids in the Americas, South and North and Central. There's pyramids in Africa.
Where was this pyramid? Where was this pyramid, sir?
In Tulum, Mexico, on the east coast, down in Yucatan, down in Tulum, just before the border. I can't remember where. And there it was.
Did you feel any energy when you came near it? Did you feel some sort of energy field?
No, I get knowledge. That woo-woo energy stuff, that's wooers. I'm a knowledge seeker, and the ancestors pass on.
You can usually feel sort of like a charge, some kind of a positive energy charge around them. They do give off a field. It's measurable scientifically.
Oh, yeah, and I know that. It's just that I mean that I'm in a different plane. I get the knowledge. I don't get the woo-woo holistic, oh, God, I'm having an orgasm. I'm standing on my 2 feet. With my I don't get that. I get the knowledge. So I was able to look at this pyramid, and I looked at this carving of a kulus. Not a thunderbird, Quiquicwanala, not a queek, an eagle. It had feathered horns, but they're laid back. It was indicative of my people, what they talk about, the kulus, my family crest. And then I took a, recording of what this all did. Then I looked on the internet and I did some research, sent some snail mail letters, and I got the GPS coordinate and the compass direction of the beak of that kulus. Then I correlated and did a shoot, and that peak ended up in northern Vancouver Island. There's only one coastal First Nation that speaks of the kulus, and that is the Kwakwaka'wakw, my tribe. And when I was in Manzanillo, Mexico, on the west coast, I found something that is what we call Kwakwa, the copper shields that our chiefs held title to. But this one was in earrings and had a corner piece, a quarter of it taken out, which we only do in potlatches. And then I took the correlation from that kulus's beak on that pyramid in Tulum, Mexico, that shot to northern Vancouver Island. And then I went and asked the elders, and then all of a sudden I correlated everything, and I found out that we have a story, and Franz Boas, in his book called A Passage of Anthology, late 1800s, early 1900s, wrote about and documented a song how our warriors would go so far south, they would walk through the swamps to be wary of the serpent that would bite you on the legs to the bone. And lo and behold, with Peggy, we went to the Numbilis Cultural Center across from Campbell River in Cape Mudge, the Wewakai people's, one of my tribe's territories. And there in that cultural center that's documented in Franz Boas's book, A Passage of Anthology, was the frickin' mask. And it has operculum showing the teeth of this critter, which is totally, what do you call that? Cayman. The alligator from Mexico, Central America. And that song talks about being afraid of walking in the swamps down in Central Americas, southern Mexico, going across the Yucatan, because you're going to possibly be bit by a caiman. And there's the mask sitting there across from Kamloops River to this day. No one has done that to date. No anthropologist, no archaeologist, no supposed Indian historian. I have a gift that I've been able to put all of the different levels of education together, and all of a sudden go, hey, lo and behold, there's the mask. There's
So wait a minute. When you get information given to you, is it like a download that just pops in your head and you just get all this shit just thrown at you?
No, I don't get into the woo-woo stuff.
No, it's not woo-woo. It's just like an idea. You might think of it as just an idea that you have. It just pops in your head.
I don't want to divulge what's wrong with me. I have...
Do you believe in Atlantis?
No.
Or Mu or Lemuria or any of that?
No.
Okay. So what do you think? That's just legend?
Atlantis, the evidence is showing it's in western Spain, in that lagoon that's now dry because of isostasy, the bounce back effect of receding glaciers. We go back 20,000 years ago, which is possibly where Atlantis was. Ice comes across, mile thick, pushes down to Earth's crust. Isostasy as it recedes, bounce back effect of receding glaciers and Earth's crust. You have higher elevations of what used to be sea level or under sea level. And I've correlated that on northern Vancouver Island, that we're finding isostasy, and I'm finding, and I have done in the past, identified midden structures, black dirt, shell, bone material that is 160 feet above present sea states. Well, 5,000 years ago and beyond, those were sea levels because of receding glaciers. And we get into glaciation, it's a whole different, that's another podcast.
Oh, wow. That wouldn't make sense for creationists at all, would it?
Well, creationists are just out to lunch.
Yeah. You're already talking, and that's organic material that can be dated, and they're saying the Earth's only 5,000 years old or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into it.
Yeah. That blows that right out of the window.
Well, we look at the carbon dates that we got from Terra del Fuego. They go back.
Last show we blew another thing right out of the water, just by what was it now? It was Darren. Are you there? What did we blow out of the water? Oh yeah, the what's his name? The one that was in jail. The effect. Nelson Mandela effect. Yeah, the Nelson Mandela effect. Yeah, we blew that right out of the water.
Don't waste my time with that.
Because I actually heard a pod. Yeah. Do you know what that's all about? Have you heard of that?
Yeah. Don't you want to get in there?
Yeah, it's bullshit. And we pretty much proved it. We were listening to a podcast. And no, it wasn't on a show. We were just listening to this podcast, and they mentioned it right in there. Nelson Mandela was released from jail, and I remember hearing it. So, yeah, that's bullshit. Gone.
So you're not a skeptic then, huh?
I'm a bit skeptic. I'm totally skeptic, and that proves it to me that whole Nelson Mandela effect thing is bullshit. So I don't know whoever started that, whatever it is bullshit.
Ancient Indian proverb says you grab a skeptic, put them in a headlock, give them a purple Herbie on their nipples, and tweak their earlobes and nose, and they will soon no longer be a skeptic. They'll follow your suit and believe in what
a Dutch rub and a purple nurple.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's exactly
we call them purple.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
And,
see, I call it the Hillary Clinton effect.
Oh yeah.
We allow ourselves to be indoctrined by the government and everything else out there to be sheep. Well, you got a choice in life. You can either be a sheep or a wolf. I choose to be a wolf. So skeptics, to me, are the ones that are the sheep. And like your buddy you had on earlier, he's a sheep. He just was like, oh my God, listen to him bond, crying, whining. like Peggy says, taking no responsibility for his lack of knowledge. And I totally agree. And it's like, I think, I get some people on coming to Sasquatch Island or to the 30 plus other Sasquatch Bigfoot groups I post on, or some of the spiritual ones I post on, and things on UFOs as well. And I just say, look, I don't have the time to waste to talk to you about this. And, that's what skeptics are. They're just sheep. And, wolves like me, we got to chew them apart and poop them out the next day.
I agree.
Yeah.
Wow. Where am I hearing the echo? Wow, that was strange. Jeff must be getting ready to do a drop.
No, it's not me at all.
Excuse me.
Not me.
That's strange. Somebody's monitoring me.
Ooh.
Anyways, it's time for a break here, and I'm going to put on a Nazareth song because I'm crazy that way. All right.
I can't.
Okay. This is Nazareth. It's called White Boy.
That's the one with the salt? Next time. Yeah. No. Oh, it's still a podcast. Hi, can you hear me? I like this one. Actually, I posted it. Everyone's getting this electric. That's you.
Oh man. Oh yeah. We are back.
Monster Castle Paranormal Digital Radio.
Whoa. No, we don't need that. Sorry. No, we're not putting another song on.
Hey, Wolfman.
Yeah.
Why did you ask?
They heard.
His
Fuck
soul is
you,
protein. Oh my god, I did. Oh, I smell it.
Peggy, are you part native too?
No, I'm from the Irish tribe, which
Oh, right on. You're
which
Celtic,
really,
like me.
you know what? It seems like we've got a lot of the same mores of how to maintain our tribe and our I don't know. It just seems very similar for some wacky
Well, it
reason.
is. It is quite similar, and I noticed
She
the
has
same
a-
thing.
She has a silver and gold native band, wedding band on her finger, and I have a Celtic
See,
Irish band on
no,
my wedding finger.
I put a put a
Nice.
self band on his.
So you have the clavica. What do they call it? The clavica.
I got a what?
Um,
Sorry.
I think it's called the clavicle. It's got two hands and a heart, like the Irish one.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I don't.
Oh,
put
no,
a
the one that
Celtic knot.
Tom wears.
He's got a. It's like a Celtic knot all the way
Oh,
around.
okay,
his
you got the Celtic knot. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I've got the sorry. I've got a what? Okay, what's the native name?
She has a killer whale,
Killerwell,
gold
Maginot.
killer whale head, and the silver band around it with
That's
killer whale
right.
design.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That is so cool, man. That you guys.
Oh, you gotta
did
go.
that.
I can send you a link. We did. I entered a competition called Wedding Bells: A Proposal. Tell us your proposal that you want to do to engage your partner.
Oh, and
So I-
surprise your partner.
And surprise your partner. So I
That was
wrote
it.
in the next afternoon. They got back to me, these two girls, and like, oh my God, we so got to get you on the show. So we got on the show, and I told Peggy, I said, oh, you got to come to Victoria. She came up from Washington State to Victoria, British Columbia. And staying in this, like,
To
probably
pop-
$500 a night.
Yeah, it's all
Sweet.
about to pop the question.
Okay, I'm gonna pop the question right now. I'm gonna pop the question on you. Okay, Barry or Tom, what is under the ice in Antarctica?
A pyramid. 3 of them. Has to be 3 of them, because when you look at the way the pyramids are based in the Americas, in North Africa, in Europe, which just came to light, it's all based on 3 and the trajectories that are correlating to a celestial star system above us, which I believe is Orion's belt, and that's what the pyramids correlate to. Antarctica has to have 3 pyramids. There. Should I get a star?
Yeah, buddy. Oh, yeah. I'll give you one of these. How about this?
All right. Yeah. Very good.
Pyramids are amazing. I love pyramidology.
Barry's still on?
No.
No.
Barry's still there.
Really?
Barry,
Barry?
you still here? No, he's out squatching.
Yeah.
Well, it shows he's
Yeah.
still on. He's in the call, but he told me he's like going to be listening. He's on the couch. He's listening.
No, he's out squatching.
Yeah, he's out.
Oh, that's right.
Doing his thing.
Oh my God, he is too.
So,
So
what we're doing
he's
right now
still
is
in the call.
Sasquatch.
I'm telling you, he is still in the call, and he's out squatching right now. So that's
Yeah,
why he probably has it on mute.
So right now we're doing a UFO show, right?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
Barry's out squatching, and he's on the air with. Yeah. Wow.
That perfect sense.
Okay, here's something for your listeners to really sit in the toilet and think about. So according to the Kwakwaka'wakw from Northern Vancouver Island, my tribe, the Creator came and he created the world. He created the mountains, the rivers, the islands, the land, the waters, glaciers, everything. And as he was soaring around the world, he created animals. All the animals we know about, natural and supernatural. And he left. He went back where he came from. Thousands of years later, he returned to the earth. And as he soared across the earth, he looked down upon his creation in my territories, Northern Vancouver Island area. And he realized that he had made a mistake when he first created everything. He had never put humans on earth. He looked down and he saw there was areas with too many creatures harvesting the returning herring, oologans, salmon. And those fish species in certain areas weren't returning. The animals that relied upon them were starving to death, disappearing through extinction, and on the verge of disappearing being endangered. He's seen areas that was far too many wolf packs whose territories overlapped. They were consuming all of the ungulates, all of the elk and deer and the moose, and they were starving. And when they came across one another, because their packs overlapped their territories, they fought one another. There was areas with too many creatures that were eating the greenery that sprouted up. There were no fruits, no berries, no shrubs. And the ungulates and other animals that relied upon the seeds at the end of the summer and early fall, they were starving to death and they were becoming extinct, endangered, and verge of collapse and warfare and chaos and confusion, because when he saw that there were so many bears, black bear and grizzly bear, that are the maker of trails in the forest, it was like a labyrinth. And the bears were getting lost. And when they came across one another in their chaos and confusion, because they were lost in the labyrinth of trails, and there was very little food because there's too many of them, they fought one another. So the Creator realized as he soared across the world upon his return he had made a mistake. The animal kingdom was out of balance. So he journeyed to the north end of the world. And when he landed, he went to the doors of a great Kyuxi, a big house made of ice. And when he walked through the great ice doors, there in that big house was his brother, the Transformer. And he said, "My brother, I'm out of magic. I created the world and the creatures and everything in it, but I made a mistake thousands of years ago. I never put human beings on it. Now you need to change and rectify the problem. My mistake. I need you to fly from this house and soar across the world. And as you come across animals randomly, I need you to transform them with your magic singing and drumming into human beings. You guys still there?"
Yes, sir. I am still here. This is the Wolfman Mike. All right. Yeah, you are on live.
And then he said, "You will transform them into human beings. Those humans will marry a woman and take her crest of origin, and they'll add it to the male's box of treasure. And they will have in their union children, Genganano. And they will have to go forth into the world, these new humans, and they will harvest animals for food, social, ceremonial purposes.
Wow.
Ever hunting or killing just for the fact of killing or hunting. They will only do it for food, social, and ceremonial purposes.
And that is the
Now,
only,
my brother
yeah, for sure. And using every part of that animal.
There you go. And he said, my brother, the Transformer, please rectify my mistake. And Transformer stood up from his chair made of ice, and he walked to the great doors. He opened them, and he flew out. And as he soared across the earth, in his journey, he came across this mountain. There was this beautiful, white, down-covered bird with outstretched wings standing on a mountain. And he soared around, and he looked at this bird, and he goes, who are you? What are you? The bird looked up at him and he goes, my name is Kulus, the younger cousin of the Thunderbird, Quigwigwanala. Well, why do you stand on this mountain? Oh, because I stand here. And I look down there in Meetup, Viner Sound, and to the north. And to the south, when I do my spin, I look down into Absegu, Shoal Harbor. Those are inlets and bays that are narrow-necked and sheltered. No wind touches them. So I see my beautiful reflection of this white, down-covered, beautiful bird with blue feather flecks throughout, and the blue lines on my bill and my short feathered horns that tell you that I'm not a thunderbird, because a thunderbird has big feathered horns. I have smaller ones. And an eagle, of course, has no feathered horns. So I am Kulus, and he stood there with his white outstretched wings, admiring his image down in Meetup in Absegu. And he goes, the Transformer thought to himself and goes, this bird is kind of high on himself. And he goes, why is your mountain looking the way it does? Oh, there's no trees on top, because one day as I was admiring my image and my reflection, I slid on my ass and I slid off the very high mountain. And I flapped my wings to stop myself, and it didn't work. I kept sliding, but I wiped all the trees out from on top of this mountain. And I put the spurs of my talons into the mountain's face to stop myself, but the mountain was too steep, and I continued to slide. And I gouged the mountain's face, and I hit the beach down below in the north in what we know as Meetup, Viner Sound. And when I hit the beach, there was an explosion of my feathers. I stood up, and my wing feathers, some of them fell off and hit that northern beach, and they turned the gray stone, because of my magical powers, into white stone, and that's why that beach is white. I fixed myself up, and I flew to the top of the mountain, and here I am, standing, admiring myself. And Transformer thought to himself, boy, this bird is full of hot air, high on himself. He goes, well, anyway, I need to transform you animals into human beings. So I want you to fly from this mountain and land down below. And I will transform you into a human being, because we need humans in this part of the world. And Kulus said, whatever you say. And he jumped from the mountaintop and put out his beautiful white wings and spiraled and soared down below. And he landed on the beach. So he thought. He put his talons out and his feet. He went to land like an eagle, but all of a sudden he went ass over tea kettle and he wiped out. And he stood up and he preened himself, straightened himself out, and he goes, all these white down feathers floating around. And he goes, okay, Transformer, I'm ready for you to do my transformation. And Transformer said, it will take me today and the night to do my magic as I drum and sing my magical songs. And that's what he did. And the next morning, as the sun rose, Transformer on the beach said to the Kulus, I want you to grab your chest and rip it open. And the Kulus reached and grabbed his chest down feathers of white and ripped it open. And my grandfather told me that the Kulus, like living in a sleeping bag, for out of the costume of the Kulus, when he ripped his chest open of down feathers, walked a human being covered in sweat because he was so hot. And Transformer looked at this human and said, who are you? And he said, I am Seawiddy, meaning paddling towards the chief, giving potlatch. And that was my Nuyum, my first ancestor. I come from Kolus, younger cousin of Thunderbird. And when you journey to my homelands and go into the Quequesnook territories, we all come from the Kolus. And when you go into Viner Sound, Meetup, and you look to the north, you'll see a beach covered in white. And that is the wing feathers from that explosion when he landed. But when you go into Absegue and you go into Shoal Harbor and the mist, that's to remind you of the down feathers of Kulus when you slid and fell off that mountain. But when you look up as you approach Guilford Island, you will see a mountain, and on the chart it will say Bald Mountain because there is no trees on top. Because Kulus, when he slid on his ass off the top of that mountain, his wing feathers flapping, his wings wiped out the trees thousands of years ago. But when he put the spurs of his talons left and right into the mountain's face to slow himself falling and descending, he gouged the mountain's face. And facing the northwest in Guilford Island, the high prominent mountain is bald on top because of the wings. And of course, we can see the scar from the talons. And you can go to Google Earth and see all this.
This reminds me of, I got a great question for you. Let's take another short break here. And I don't know. What do you feel like hearing? I was going to play, like, what's your favorite native rock band?
Black Sabbath.
Yeah, they're Celtic native, yeah.
Paranoid.
Oh, man, I could sing that one for you. I could put a karaoke on and sing that one for you if you want me to. But first, I'm not kidding. I'll do it. But I gotta go to the washroom. It's raining up there.
No, never rains out here.
Yes.
Okay. Somebody said it was raining, so I picked this song. I don't know. It's Nazareth, Rain on the Window, and I'll be right back. And maybe I might sing a karaoke song.
This one is a horse. Nope. Left. Oh, I got lost. Oh, there it is. Help. There's like 3 songs.
That doesn't hurt.
Oh, yeah. We're having fun tonight on the Monster Castle Extended Radio. Late night extended radio, bringing you way deep into the late hours of the morning with crazy, awesome people. And actually, I'm the only crazy one. The rest are probably pretty sane. Listen to us on Spreaker.com or in TuneIn Radio app and just search for Monster Castle Paranormal. Call into our show. Skype me at Wolfman Mike 47 or 775-990-8447. The lines are open right now, folks. And we are back.
I am here.
Barry
Peggy's teasing me. She said I should tell you why I know so much.
I think we should give Barry... Hey, Tom, don't you think we should give Barry a chance to talk here?
Is he on still?
Yeah, he's still here. Let's give him a chance here. Barry, are you there? I keep looking and he's there, but he must have fell asleep with his phone on. Oh, my God.
No, he went out squatching.
Oh,
He had some people.
Well, his phone's still on. It's still linked to...
He's listening to us.
Well, I know he's out squatching. I just thought he's there. I just keep thinking he's going to talk to me if I say I thought he was listening. No?
Yeah.
The call is definitely still in progress, so...
Hey there. I got a question about the moon.
All right.
What do y'all know about the moon?
Mukwala. That's what we call it.
But who has anybody visited the moon?
I gotta go pee.
Besides,
Hey, wait a minute. You're supposed to say piddle. Wait a minute. You tell Peggy to say piddle.
Peggy's going piddling.
All right. That's better. Yeah.
I personally think that the first half of the moon landing is a bunch of bullshit. I remember back in 1980, 1981, I was in Shawnigan Lake Boys Private School. And I was working my way through encyclopedias and everything like that. And then all of a sudden I came across the NASA books. And they're probably about, I close my eyes and think about it, probably about a foot and a half long, these books on the NASA expeditions. I remember looking through them, reading and studying. I was just gaining knowledge. I was in a private boys private school. And, we all dressed like little colonial British disciples and our suits and ties and everything. And all of a sudden I remember looking at this picture and I'm seeing this astronaut standing on the moon holding the staff of a flag with the American stars and stripes, planting it in the ground. But when you looked at his visor, behind him was the earth. But when you looked in his visor, there was the earth again. And I thought, okay, that's not right. This is decades before Photoshop. And I'm thinking, this is not right. And then you look at the conspiracy theorists and everyone of late on the internet, since we've had it since the mid-90s. And lo and behold, it comes back to haunt Tom about this picture. So, yeah, I know there's a movie made about it and all that, but in all honest truth, do I think that the moon landings and all that were true? Yeah, I think the later ones were. I'm in Kent, Washington, where supposedly in 1970, the Apollo moonlander, rover or whatever. Anyway, the dune buggy that went to the moon in 1970, it was made right here in Kent, Washington. Who knew? I found that out reading some internet stuff on the Chamber of Commerce of Kent here a couple days ago. But did it really happen? I don't know. And I know the first Apollo landings, I have some doubts about they really happened. You got to remember, they were racing with the Russians. And back then, during the Cold War, it was all about who planted the flag just like Christopher Columbus and the Spanish and Portuguese and everyone else thereafter when they came to the supposed New World. It's all about shoving that flag in the ground and proclaiming grandeur that they found it first. No, there's always someone there beforehand. So as far as the moon goes, I keep an open mind. I don't want to be a sheep and believe that everything took place according to what the government and NASA shoved down our throats. But with an open mind and with, frontal lobes that are partially developed, I hope, and I can able to rhyme and reason, I think the first few were staged. I seen it in a picture or two. Am I going to get into conspiracy theories and all that? No. But food for thought for them, yeah, I guess I agree with you.
I gotta say, okay. Where is everybody tonight? I don't get it. Are you guys all like, wow. I can't believe my chat room's so dead. And it's usually rocking, and we call it Wolfman's Bouncy Castle. So anybody who's on with us here and listening, tweet out to all your friends. Let them know what kind of rip-roaring wild show we have on right now. You got to tell everyone to come in here. It's great. The best guest ever. This is probably my best stuff ever. So everybody got to tweet it out. And the stories that you just can't get this anywhere else. And we're going to keep it coming. Right, Tom?
Oh yeah, definitely. First Nations wise, I'm on my 5th tequila and Mountain Dew, but having fun. Bottom line is, there's no one in your chat rooms, but then again, the standard norm and the iambic pentameter of podcasts that I've been studying is, the chat rooms only get a few. It's the follow-up, the ones that are coming in later and listening. They're doing their thing.
It could be the holiday thing, yeah.
Yeah, and it's everything. People are, most of your followers, 80% of them or more, they're actually, they're like, oh, okay, I'll listen to it on my time. So they'll come in and listen.
Yeah, okay. But I have regulars in my chat room, and they're not there. Like, I have maybe 25% of my usual chat people there. But I got to say, I had some that were never there before that just found my show as well. So that's awesome, too.
Well, you got to look at it, 1 and 2 points.
If anyone's listening, if anyone's listening if you're listening back on this later, and we're not live, next time, make sure to go to #47talk in Twitter, and search that, and then you'll be in my Bouncy Castle and in Twitter. And that's where you'll find out when the show goes live and everything. It's the best way to find out when I go live, and it'll show you a link, and you just click on it, and you're into the show.
I heard.
So, yeah. And then from there, you can actually go to TuneIn Radio app, which works better. It doesn't cut in and out as much. And when I'm on live, you go to TuneIn and search Monster Castle. Favorite me there, and you'll find that is a better way to listen. But you can still go into the Spreaker.com chat room, and that you just go on Monster Castle Paranormal Radio in Spreaker.com, and then you find the show that says live. You click on that, the name of the show. You click on that, and then you underneath you'll see info and comments. When you click on comments, then you're into my Bouncy Castle in Spreaker. It's complicated, but when we don't use we actually have a chat room on our website too, and we never use it. We should start using that, actually. Jeff, you set that up, and we never use it.
Yeah, no one ever used it, so everybody really liked the Spreaker one, so kind of stuck with that.
Yeah, that's where we're
Unless,
hanging out. So, and on
yeah.
Twitter in hashtag 47talk for live interaction. Those are the places to go. Is the Spreaker chat room and the Twitter one. And actually, the Spreaker one only works when we're live. So, the hashtag 47talk and Twitter is your place to go to find out what's going on, upcoming shows and events.
So I got a question. Why do you do, if you're based in Eastern Canada and you're catering to the Eastern Seaboard, and the first time I came on board, you were talking about catering to the truck drivers. So we go on in the East at 12 a.m. So right now I'm at 119 on the West Coast. So that would put you guys at after 4:20 in the morning.
Yeah, well, I'm nocturnal. I work night shift, so I just keep it going. I'm always up all night anyway.
Okay, so should we not? So if we do, like, number one, like tonight, there's no one in the chat room. So what that tells me right
no, there's
there,
still people lots of people in the chat room, just less than normal.
yeah, and what it tells me is the majority of them, they're not interested in the Indian stuff.
No,
And
it's
that's
not that
fine.
at all. No, it has
No,
nothing
it's
to,
fine. It's
absolutely
fine.
nothing to do with it.
I've studied the data on this. It's fine. But if we're gonna go break
No.
in the native thing with you, with me and Barry and others, then should we not be looking at trying to get us into a prime time central? So maybe going on 5 o'clock, maybe 4 o'clock.
I do
some
that on
extent.
Sundays. Yeah, I do that on Sundays.
No,
if
there's
Once in a
other
while.
shows that their chat rooms are dead too. It's not just this show. It's
yeah, No.
it's just the night.
Yeah, it's
No,
strange.
from my
We've looked in
research-
all of the chat rooms everywhere, not just my show, other shows as well, and we find they're all. It just happens to be this night. Seems to be everyone's out busy or they're passed out. I don't know.
Well, we're in the tail end of full moon. So they've gone out
there you go.
crazy Wednesday and Thursday night. Now they're licking their wounds.
Okay, Ron is calling, and he's calling on the wrong line. Yeah, how did he even get in there? That's my host line. Wow. Okay. I don't get that one. Okay. I'll see if I can add him in. But he would have to accept my friendship, Ron. Answering because it'll put me on hold otherwise. Okay. I'm gonna try to. Man, that's not working. Okay. Add.
How come you're darker than me?
I've always
Oh
been
my
darker
God.
than. What? No way. Hey, no, you bigger arms. Okay. Still the main.
No, I'm gonna have to send him a friend request. Yeah. In order for me to add you, Ron, I sent you a friend request, and then I can add you to that call. Otherwise, you can call the Wolfman Mike 47 Skype line, or else 775-990-8447. But if you accept my contact request, then I can add you to the call. Oh, I can now. I can. He did. Awesome. Good job. Where is he?
Except for here.
He's not doing anything.
I don't know.
Well, I'm trying. Anyway, this is the way it goes. Okay. Let's see if I can add him over here.
Yeah.
Ron has never called in before that I know of. Maybe once.
Oh, hearing from him?
Where is he?
What?
We're
is
trying to
that?
get him in here. Add. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay, add to group call. Now I can add him. There we go. What? Huh. I don't know what happened. Add to group call. I keep trying to add him. It's not doing it. Ron, just stop trying to call and I'll add you. It'll work better this way. No, it's not. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to try a different way. Okay, anyways, go ahead with... It's almost the bottom of the hour. Well, I'm trying to connect Ron. I could put something on. I still... Oh, what's that guy's name? It's Keith Sikova? Keith something? He's got this... He's native rock. Do you know? Sakira, or is it Sakira? Do you know, Tom?
Nope.
No, eh? This is my
Where's
bass
he
player.
from?
He's native Korean. He showed me this guy's music, and it's amazing.
Oh, there's so many of them now up in Canada. As you know, up in Canada, it's just amazing. You can't even keep track of them.
Wow.
You know, they got some phenomenal First Nations artists out there in all different aspects of the music world. But, you know, how do we keep track of them? You know, me, I listen to electronic trance, you know. There's 2 native bands, one of them being Korean. They're just,
Really?
they rock.
What are they? Remember?
Oh, I can't remember the names of them.
Oh, dang, that'd be fun to listen.
And then, you know, you got everyone else from hard rock, soft rock, classics, you name it. You know, what you're doing tonight, you know, playing Nazareth. You're playing the
Oh.
old Dolphin Horseback album. And I had to
Cool.
pull up Google Images and type in Nazareth album covers and show Peggy, this is what he's playing.
That's
And
really
she
good
didn't even,
stuff.
she didn't even know about it.
Yeah, I know. That's why I do it. You recognize it now.
Oh, God,
Cool,
yeah.
man.
Older than
I'm
you.
really... I'm just like tickled pink that you actually recognize that album, man.
Oh, hell yeah. I used to smoke my doobage back in the 80s and listen to that.
I had Nazareth on the back of my jean jacket, and I made it really wicked. I painted it on there with fabric paint. And it was
I
wicked.
did the same thing, but I had
No way.
Led Zeppelin Zozo on the back of mine.
Oh, right on, buddy. Yeah, I had Nazareth. I was the only one with Nazareth.
Nazareth rocked, though. I remember we snuck into the Vancouver Coliseum. We went, and there was some couple, what do you call them? Groupies, or not groupies, but guys who look after
Roadies.
the roadies.
Roadies.
And they put their it was like freaking July, hot. And they put their jackets on this gate. I jumped over a fence, grabbed their badges off their jackets. Me and my buddy walked into the Vancouver Coliseum.
Back when you were a hero.
And, you know, we're right there on the floor backstage watching Nazareth. They all thought we were roadies. We're just like, wow, this is amazing. Oh, yeah, I'm Indian through and through.
Oh, you're a haywire.
I'm back, boys.
Darren, you're back. I
I'm
don't know why I
back.
couldn't add Ron to I tried adding Ron to that call, but I'm calling him on another line here. So, Ron, if you see it, I'm ringing you on another line. Go ahead, Darren.
I was curious if Tom knew, studying the Earth's mantle and everything, if he knew why ice ages occur.
I believe it's from what we look at is typhoons in the South Pacific and Southern Hemisphere. Pacific storm systems on the west coast of North America, Northern Hemisphere, and hurricanes that come through the eastern part of the Americas, through the Atlantic. I firmly believe that when you get some type of shift, whether it be climate change, rising temperatures due to too much carbon in the atmosphere, or maybe there's a magnetic anomaly that makes the Earth change its spin, you'll end up getting these big, huge storm systems, which are basically cyclones, bottom line. And as we've seen in the movie, that I can't remember what it was called, but anywhere where these big storm systems sucked in the high above atmosphere, the space, and brought in the cold air. And then we look at the scientific possible proof to it, where we have mammoths with grass and buttercups in their mouth when all of a sudden they just died. I give a lot of, support to that theory.
It was, isn't it? We were talking about it, and you were saying that when the temperature of the Earth gets up so high that it creates a vacuum from the
space
the
through the vortex,
cold air from the space, and it just pulls it in almost immediately.
It's like an inverted.
down.
The theory is based on an inverted tornado.
Yeah.
So instead of the tornado, coming from the ground in this tight spiral vortex and going wider up into the clouds, it's inverted where the spin is actually from the high atmosphere and space, and it's bringing that cold air. And you got to remember, what's minus 40 below or minus 140 below, whatever the temperatures are. I'm not a scientist, but the vortexes are sucking in the cold air of space and dissipating it horizontally across Earth's crust. And that's where you get these ancient animals that walked across the northern hemisphere that died just like snap
Immediately. Yeah.
immediately. And you got buttercups in their mouths. I've sat there and I've shot bears, and they're sitting there chawing on the grass. And they're just enjoying life. It's May and everything's beautiful, and I'm going to start mating in another couple of weeks, and I'm just having a grand old time eating grass and buttercups, and all of a sudden they don't even hear it. I squeeze off, my client squeeze off, and before the chin hits the ground, they're DOA. They're dead on arrival when that chin hits. And
everybody welcome Ron J. Welcome Ron J to the show. Everybody welcome Ron J. Yeah, he's here. He is here, the man. Ron J. How are you, sir?
Oh.
Hey,
Are you
Ron.
Am
there?
I on?
Yeah, you're on.
You are?
Oh, I can't see myself, but I can. My camera is on.
Don't matter if you can see yourself because no one else can except me.
We can hear you.
That's
Any
good
questions?
enough. Good enough. How is everybody tonight then, or this morning, 2:30 my time?
Excellent.
Wonderful.
And we're talking about some. What was your guy was talking about some sort of creatures? Or
Sasquatch.
Sasquatch. Oh, right. Is
Ron-
that
Ron's one of our biggest fans, and he was having trouble finding our show for some reason tonight. I don't know why.
well? I'll just say that some people on Spreaker did not like some of the words I said, and they all decided to group up and cut me off Spreaker. So I cannot type on Spreaker at the moment.
Well, you can in my chat room. I didn't cut you off.
No, Spreaker, I've been cut off.
What?
But why are we talking about Sasquatch specifically tonight? Was there another sighting?
Actually,
'Cause Tom is here.
I have the two biggest, hottest researchers on my show that in the world, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
And you're talking to none other than the legend, Tom Seaward.
Seawood.
Seaward.
Oh. All right.
You wanna ask him a
I have
question?
to just set something up for a second because I'm getting feedback on my own end here.
Okay, that should go
But
away.
I can hear you guys right now. Okay, that's clear.
You're not listening to the show in another instance, are you? Like, you have to shut down your feed for listening while you're on the air with us.
Yes, that's what I just did.
Okay.
Where are you calling from?
Saskatchewan, but I'm near Montana. I'm not like north, way up in north where you fly in to the little village in Saskatchewan, Northwest
You go to
Territories.
Saskatoon, PA, and you fly in, and you're right in urbanization, concrete village. I'm actually, my mother's a full-blooded Mistawassis Cree from between Saskatoon and PA.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's a place I've never been up that far north.
Yeah, they
Myself.
just started. Actually, I know you asked about Sasquatch and everything. That's my area of expertise. But I just seen 2 weeks ago they came on with a new Facebook group called Sasquatchin, and it's Saskatchewan-based Sasquatch group. They only got like 40 members right now, but I highly recommend joining it. I've been adding a post of the day every day to it, and it's getting more and more members all the time. Definitely worth following. I know around the Prince Albert, Saskatoon area, there's a lot of stories, reports, encounters with Sasquatch, Bigfoot in that area, but it correlates to 20 years ago plus when I used to first go out there and visit family. They never heard of cougars, mountain lions. Now the whole area, they're bringing in and generating hundreds of thousands of dollars out of that area. Safari Club International hunters are coming up paying big money to go out for a couple days, a week, to hunt the central Saskatchewan cougar. 20 years ago, there was no cougar in that area. Now all of a sudden it's like just bumper crop of cougars up there, and Safari Club International and Boone and Crockett record book size cougars are being harvested out of there. So Saskatchewan Central, can't speak for the north, haven't been up there, haven't talked to anyone up there, but the central area is definitely...
Okay, why would somebody harvest a cougar?
Because it's fun to hunt.
Oh, come
Oh
on.
my. Okay, go
Watch
ahead.
Snake Afraid, and, you know, bottom line is grab a gun,
Wait a
grab
minute. I thought you said it was the most coolest thing when a wildlife animal comes up to you and licks your hand or something. Like, now you want to shoot the things.
I didn't say that. I'm not a hand licker. I'm a hunter. And until you've actually sat there, slammed the door of your truck and said, I got my gun, I got my knife, I got my tobacco, I got my survival
Oh, I understand. I've hunted. I do hunt.
backpack.
Don't get me wrong. I hunt. I hunt
Yeah,
I'm
deer.
a fisherman, that's it.
I hunt deer and rabbits and stuff like that, or turkeys. But I never shot a cat. Like there's bobcats around there, but I would never shoot one of them.
Well, I wouldn't say bobcats, because I've never heard of it as far as eating, but, you know, shooting a cougar and eating it, there's nothing better than eating pussy.
Really? Oh man.
Pussy. Because they're always willing.
Oh man. What? Yeah. Maybe. Wait a minute. Isn't it shoot in the pussy?
Wait, see you later.
Offer the cougar a drink first.
Yeah,
Tom,
at least, tell him it's his last stand, give him a drink and his last words, and then he'll probably come up and say, well, exit stage left.
No, actually, hunting's hunting. Like,
Well, I've never. Yeah, have you ever... man, I've seen so many weird things. I did tell you about that big 4-foot rabbit creature I saw. Did I tell you about
The
that, Tom?
rabbitoid?
The rabbitoid? Have I told you about that?
No.
Is that on Monty Python?
No, this...
It's got great fangs.
It's big fangs. It will eat you alive.
I told
It's
you.
a killer. It's a killer. No. I saw this thing jump out of this ditch one time, and it's 20 foot down. It's got water running through the cement, kind of like ditch, and there's a bridge over it. It's the Mill Creek in Milton, Ontario. Anyways, this thing jumped out in front of me, splashed all over in front of me, and it looked like a 4 foot tall, like 4 foot long rabbitoid creature. It run like a rabbit, had like ears like a rabbit. It was black, short hair, very muscular. It ran so fast I could barely see it. Just gone. And this was in the middle of the city.
There are rabbits that big, and they're mostly in England, but there are
No. It wasn't those big fuzzy ones that you see on the. No, this thing was totally different. It had like a sleek body, like a coyote, and it was short-haired, demonic looking.
You saw a fisher. Fishers most fishers come in this nice little mink-sized package, 2 feet long,
Like a weasel?
like a weasel. But then you get these monster fishers. That's what you saw. Take a look, Google it. There's mink in North America. There's ermine, the small little white ones in the winter, and they're brown, gray in the summer and spring. And then you have your I think of the
Ermine
damn
up
name.
here too.
There's not marmot. What the hell
But
is
did
this?
he have long ears like a rabbit? Like
No,
you
no,
saw?
no. The ones when the fisher gets
Well,
big.
it
yeah,
wasn't
they-
really long ears. They were rabbit-like ears. They
No,
were
it
like
was a
big,
fisher.
big.
You saw a fisher. Like,
Oh.
trust me, you Google image fishers, you'll be amazed that most of them are minky size, like 2 feet long, 1.5 feet, they're a mink because they're related, they're in that family.
Okay,
Then you
this
get these
is the size
big
of
monster
somebody's,
fishers.
German
And
Shepherd. It
these
was the
bloody
size of.
things. Yeah, when
It
they
was
jump.
the size of a German Shepherd, man.
Yeah, I used to trap, and it looked like a freaking German Shepherd.
Wow.
And when I finally did trap the son of a bitch, it looked like a German Shepherd.
Wow.
And when I brought it to my uncle, and I'm like 14 years old, I'm like, coming in on a snowmobile, I'm like, I caught that big fisher. And he looked at it and he goes, and he's French Canadian. And he's like, oh, Sacre Bleu.
Tabernacle.
You get Tabernacle, you get $400 for that pelt, eh? And, yeah, he got $400. I got $20. But fishers, that's what you saw. I've seen them when they jump. They look like a big rabbit.
Okay, well, this thing must have jumped at least 20 feet.
Oh shit! You watch a mink. You throw a rock at a mink, you can be amazed at how far those little freaking brown bananas can jump. They can jump like 20 feet, no problem. Now take
Wow.
a fisher that's 5 times that size and looks like what you saw, a medium-sized German Shepherd, rabbit cross, and all of a sudden you throw a rock at it or you spook it. It looks like goddamn Chupacabra fucking taking off on you.
Well, that's what I was thinking, when I saw the damn thing. I was thinking Chupacabra, but it was more rabbitoid.
Yeah, it's a fisher. They're huge.
So
Maybe
it's
it's a Canadian chupacabra because it has to have hair on it.
No, there is no such thing as a Chupacabra.
They do have big ears.
Well, yeah, fishers,
Well, and
like when they
chupacabras in
jump.
Mexico are hairless, correct?
Oh God, I don't even want to get into Chupacabra. Too much freaking.
We won't.
What do you think of that? Quickly, Tom. What's your take on chupacabras?
Mushrooms, peyote, cocaine.
You took too many fucking drugs,
Tequila.
asshole.
God, you do enough drugs, you can see God and Buddha.
Something like that.
One time I was on mushrooms and I was able to pull static electricity out of the air and then just zap things. And I zapped this radio that was on my grandmother's freezer, and just to make sure we weren't hallucinating, right? And I zapped people across the room, man. It was deadly. And you could see the electricity coming out of my fingertips. Just like the Dark Lord from Star Wars, man. Anyways, so I zapped the radio just to see if it was real or we're hallucinating. So the freezer, the radio, and the whole line going back to the fuse box was all melted. In the morning, my grandmother actually had to get an electrician in to fix it all the next day. It was real. What do you think of that?
Comment from Tom.
What do you think
What's
of that,
that?
Tom?
Well, I think it just reflects about my friend there during the American election there a while back, over 100 days ago. And he said, oh, man, I didn't want to see Trump win. I didn't want to see Hillary win. So we all did a big shit pile of mushrooms and gacked her back with a bunch of tequila. And we watched the election, and he goes, you know what? I hallucinated Hillary won. That was the most terrible thing. I woke up in the morning and they are all telling me Trump won. And I'm like, oh God, no. Hillary won. So the bottom line is, when you do drugs, you're going to see things that you want to see and you don't want to see. That's what drugs are.
No.
Not really.
There was
I would
evidence.
disagree with that.
I know. You guys fell into my trap.
Yeah, but how do you explain the evidence the next morning? How would we melt the fuse box? How would we melt all the wiring all the way back to the fuse box? How would we do that? No, I don't get it. No, that was not a hallucination.
No, that
No,
definitely is.
okay, I'll just say what you're saying, Mike. That's I've been known to do that too. Just kind of walk by a radio, and it's a good signal on the radio. I walk by a radio, and all of a sudden it goes, and then I gotta get a certain distance away from the radio, and it's back to normal again, right?
Go to your library and pick up and go in the section on probability and coincidence, and read those books.
Sure.
And then come back and talk about what happened.
Oh no! There's no
Probability
coincidence there, unless then you're getting into another subject where I call synchronicity, which is also quite woo woo.
No, I'm not going to get into the woo-woo. I don't do woo-woo.
I'm
Hey,
gonna
Tom.
jump out for just 2 minutes.
Yeah. Who asked me?
Hey.
Oh,
All right, Ron. We'll
Okay,
talk to you in
Ron.
a sec.
No problem, bud.
Have you studied the effects of reintroducing the wolf to Yellowstone?
no.
Have you heard?
I did not study
Yeah,
it.
the trees.
I read about it.
Yeah, the trees are growing again. All the cottonwoods along the creeks and rivers
Yeah.
are all
no.
growing,
read
and
it.
it's completely changed the landscape of the rivers and brought back beaver and a whole bunch of different creatures. Just that one cog being gone out of Yellowstone has totally affected everything.
Yes.
And in 15 years, it's changed considerably.
yes,
pretty cool.
Peggy's read it more than I have.
I saw it on the video, and it's incredible.
It is. Yeah, because the wolves they walk in the rivers to get their prey, and so the prey all the elk and everything doesn't eat all the saplings out of the creek, and all the cottonwoods are starting to grow back. All the trees are growing back along the rivers. It's cool.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it's you
Ecosystem.
see it with I'm going to admit it now, and I'm not proud of it. I got hired on years ago with this guy who had a 100-foot yacht, fiberglass, wanted me to come on board as an assistant hunting guide. He'd heard about me and my hunting skills, and doc talk we call it. So I hired on. 2 weeks later, his head hunting guide got fired, and I was moved up to head hunting guide. I stayed with him for years on this yacht, and I was a hunting guide. Black-tailed deer, grizzly bears, black bears, wolves, cougar. And I went into inlets like Lockbarrel Inlet, Waiton, Kinkum. Well, Lockbarrel, there's a place just outside the mouth of it we used to call Black Bear Alley, because you couldn't go down there without your speedboat at a certain stage of tide in May, June, and not see, end of April, May, June, and see black bears.
Sure.
Well, give Tom a few years in the speedboat and a pair of binoculars and a gun to back up his clients, and Lockbarrel Inlet became No Bear Inlet.
Right.
Wellbarrow Pass, Black Bear Alley became No Bear Alley. Topaz and Jackson.
Right, so you affected everything.
I removed the black bears and the wolves out of those areas. Drury Inlet, I removed all the trophy bucks, deer, black bears. Exterminated. All because of my tips and my $350 a day wage. I made big money. I remember it was the exchange rate back then was 36% in favor of American dollars. So I came in from Bush. I'd phone my foster daughter up, and I'd say, "I'm coming into Camp River in a couple days. Find me the best exchange rate for my American dollars." And she'd pick me up in her car, and she was 17 years old. And she'd say, "Oh, we're going up to the credit union. They're going to give us 36.5% exchange on your American dollars to the Canadian." And I'm going up there with $10, $20, $30,000 of American cash and tips. $3,000, $4,000 rifles, binoculars, you name it, camouflage clothing. And then I became a bear watching boat owner, captain. And I went into these inlets and bays. There was no more bears. I removed them all.
Have they come back?
No.
Ugh.
No. And, you know, and this is why I'm such an advocate for Sasquatch Bigfoot, because I know the damage that one human can do.
Yeah.
And I'm proof in the pudding. I have removed so many.
Yeah. Tom?
Just one person can affect the environment, the ecosystem.
Oh, I know. And a factory can damage the whole planet.
Oh, yeah. Well, did you know that in Alaska where there's all the fishing, did you know those were all fished out?
No, that's bullshit. Alaska's
they were.
got shit together because
I don't
they
believe
It
that
does
either.
now.
pulp mills,
No, you're
meat
wrong.
factories, urban
You're wrong.
sprawl on their rivers.
You're wrong. After the turn of the century, in the 1910s, 1920s, they had huge factories up there. They were almost fished out. There were rivers that were just the factories just ended up closing because they got all the fish out of there.
Oh yeah, I
So-
know that part. You just read what do you call it? The book called.
A lot of people don't know that, and it's like Lake Tahoe used to have a ton of fisheries on there too. They thought,
I have a PhD person. And places in the world. And it is the shining star. We need to do in Canada what Alaska is done. Number one, don't allow strip mining, gold mining, pulp mills, forestation. I'm not even sure.
Oh, my God. You're breaking up your Skype. Damn it.
Still?
he'll come back.
It'll come back, yeah.
45 years.
Tom, what you're saying right now, it's all broken up, your Skype. Give it 1 sec pause and then start talking again, I think.
How's this? Is better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My father is retired now. He's 75 years old. But for 25 plus years, he was a federal Department of Fisheries and Oceans biological technician. Basically, the equivalent to the American Fish and Game. And he went to Alaska and he came back. And I've been up there afterwards and since. And he said, "Tom, you should see it. They don't allow urban sprawl. Paint factories, pulp mills, strip mining." And the list went on. He goes, "I flew over the river systems of Alaska, and it looks like what it looked like 1,000 years ago."
Yeah, it's really come back.
And no, it's not come back. We wonder why Alaska gets 30 plus million sockeye caught every year. And Canada gets, on a very, very good decade cycle, 30 million fish caught. Returned.
Who wants to live in Alaska?
Willie.
I do.
Willie does.
Bottom line is, if you got balls
hi,
and
Willie.
hair above your dick, you're man enough to live in Alaska and put up with it, then you're a real man.
Oh my God, that's what Willie calls himself, a real man. That's so funny there. Synchronicity right there, but that's hilarious. I can't believe you said that. A real man. We got a song for him and everything.
Alaska without a lake. Saskatchewan is Alaska without a coast.
Bottom line, I heard in the Constitution of Alaska State, they don't allow people with small dicks up there.
Oh my God, that's what Willie does pornos.
That's all.
Willie does pornos up there, I think. But he's got to move now. He's got a new job, and he's got to move, and I think he's moving this weekend. Actually, I wish we could help him, but yeah.
My suggestion is just leave all your shit there, let somebody else buy it, and come to your next city fresh with all your brand new stuff. Don't move anything other than your personal, really little things. A couple of suitcases. You know, you can get a fridge, stove, everything else, anywhere else you live.
Well,
don't have
So,
to bring all
Mike,
that.
whom you just brought this guy on? He's got to
Yeah.
know me because suitcases and a little bit of your concrete urban life don't equate with me. You got to have your knife, your 2 cartons of
Need-
cigarettes,
yeah, you
your
gotta know
gun.
who you're dealing with here,
Sure,
man.
and
He's
your
like
tarp
the wolf
and-
man. He carries a
that's it.
knife everywhere, and we're always ready for survival. He's like
Oh.
me. I'm the same way.
I'll have to clarify. Where are you moving? Are you moving from Alaska to Alaska?
Well,
Or are you
Willie's
moving
not on
from
right
Alaska-
now, but
or are you moving from Alaska to society?
Yeah,
Like a city.
he's moving from. Willie is moving. Do you know Darren? You know him better than I do.
Yeah, he's just moving from the boonies into a city where he can work.
Oh, okay. From Alaska to Alaska. Well, you're
Yeah,
okay.
he's just moving a little ways away.
And the fucking hilarious part is that
Keep it out there, make it your cabin.
he got a job and he bullshit his way into it, and he's in charge of a bunch of
Rent it out.
people.
Rent it out for people from California. They'll come up and pay $1,000 a day to stay there. You know? Make
He's
some
got
money off
definitely
that
balls,
place.
man. He's got balls to do this.
Who
I have a
you
couple friends that moved up there. One that he runs.
Oh. Tom, we're talking about one of our frequent callers. That's Willie, and he usually calls in and just freaks out on people. And he's a really skeptic. He's a real skeptic.
Oh,
We
the
call
one
it-
you put on earlier.
No, that's a
He
different
was in
one.
the chat earlier.
This is different.
Because he's 9 miles from Russia. That's why he's a skeptic.
This one you wouldn't have liked as much, believe me.
What, I put him in a headlock?
9 miles from Russia means that he's way on the bush, though, right?
No, I think he's the same.
No,
one.
he's going to
How-
catch a
Remember
can
you
or
made
something.
that comment about
Oh, I
Russia?
know. Yeah, Sarah needs help.
There's parts of Alaska where you don't need any codes to change anything in your house. You can just build whatever. It's pretty cool, actually.
I've been up there. I've spent years up there. And what you just said right there, it's just like, it's bush. Bottom line.
Yeah.
There's no boundaries to bush. It means you
Hello?
go to bush, you live. You do what
Hi,
you want
Deb.
to do.
I
Debbie.
answered you on my cell phone. I
Oh,
answered you on my iPhone.
okay.
Hi.
This is Tom Seward, the Bigfoot researcher, the Canadian legend.
No, it's
Seawood,
not.
Tom Seawood. It is Tom Seawood from Sasquatch Island.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Hey.
And it's your boyfriend, Ronnie, too.
And this is Debbie Daly, an affiliate radio show host.
Hi, how you doing? My name's Tom.
Yeah, I know. I've heard about you before. That's amazing.
Oh, no, I'm just flattered by what Mike said about me. I'm just like, woo.
Well, you're
Well,
a
you're very
Canadian
humble.
legend. Dude.
You're very humble. That's nice. I'm going to answer
Hi,
on my
Debbie.
I
My
picked up
name
my
is
cell
Ronald.
phone. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Did you get my
Ronald's there.
tweet, Ron?
I might have. I haven't checked everything. But hello.
Let me call back on my computer, Mike. I answered on my
Okay.
cell phone.
Okay, that's
Okay,
fine.
bye.
But you sound good. Anyways, go ahead, Tom. Sorry, I had to introduce the caller.
No. I want to hear her question.
She's going to be
Maybe
back.
she'll
She's
call
gonna
back.
call. She likes her
Okay.
sound to be perfect. She's a DJ like me, so she likes her sound to be perfect. She's going to call back on her computer.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
Yes, Debbie is a true professional.
You guys
Yeah.
are professional. This is good. I like this.
It's fun.
Yeah, Peggy says it's fun.
And I appreciate what you guys said about Willie living out in the bush. I'll just kind of interject here for a second. I would myself like to be in that position of living out in the bush. As long as I had Wi-Fi, I'd be happy. Off the grid, yep.
Excuses are in the bush. Excuses are like buttholes. The one you get now is
Oh,
usually
no-
stinker, and the
No
one you smelled
excuse to live in the
before.
bush. The excuse
So the bottom
is that
line
it's
is
better than
just
living in a
do
city.
it. No,
My
just
friend,
do it.
my friend loves it. He got a job on a ferry boat, and he can build whatever he wants. He goes, I'm going to build this little cabin here, and then I'm going to build this greenhouse here, and he doesn't have to do anything. You know, he just builds whatever he wants. He doesn't have to. He
Yeah,
doesn't
I've
have to
done
do
that.
anything.
I felt like when you
He
look at
doesn't have
Sasquatch
to
Island.
talk to the man. That's exactly
Nope.
it. You know.
No,
When you
he
look
doesn't have to. He doesn't need any permits, nothing. But it
No,
is.
The bush is bush. You go out there and you do it. I've had what I call the Gestapo showing up in their inflatable ribs, rigid inflatable boats. And they pull into the cove and they're like, "You don't have a permit for this and a permit for that." And I just sit there and give them basically the third degree. I'm like, "Look,
The
for
middle
Christ's
degree,
sake,
yeah.
you guys got to go get a frickin' act of Parliament or Congress to remove what I just built." I'm like, do you
Mhm.
really want to put your career in jeopardy? You want to retire 20 years from now and get this much pension. You come and lock horns with me, I'm going to win. We go to court, I win, I get to keep my infrastructure here. Do you really want to go down this path? Get in your rib, put it in reverse, pull away from the beach, put it on step, get the hell out of here, write your memo to someone that says in your department that, oh, you went and checked on Tom doing this and building his cabins and doing this and building his docks. The bottom line is concrete urbanization type of mind think. It's pathetic. Bunch of damn shit. You get out in the bush where I live and where I belong, and it's a whole different world. And out there, you put your testicles on the table and you show what you got. And you know what? You always win. And those little bureaucrats and their rigid inflatable boats and their aeroplanes with floats and pontoons and their helicopters, when you put it to them that way, they always go back to their offices and they just write some memo that, oh yeah, we went and checked on Tom Seawood. No problem. And the bottom line is it's
Tom?
not a legend. It's not, the mystique. You watch Deadliest Catch and Alaska and this and that and the other thing. The bottom line is there's a big difference between concrete urban sheep living and the wolves that are out in the wilds. And the bottom line is you got
I'm
to
back,
make
Mike.
choice. And if you want to be a wolf like us out in the bush,
Awesome.
be it, do it, live it, exercise and don't put up with the sheep in your life.
I'll interject just what you just said. Like the government worker comes out to check you and go, okay, your dock is the prescribed dimensions, blah blah blah
Okay,
for
I'm
building
gonna
codes and all
I'm gonna
that, blah
interrupt
blah
you right
blah,
there.
and
See
etc.
you.
And he comes in
talking,
a
boys.
float plane and he comes and looks at your dock for a half an hour, flies back to the main town or the main city, and that how much does that cost to him to do, or the taxpayers? Sorry, how much does that cost the taxpayers for him to do that? Like 40, 50, 60 grand just for him to go out for a day trip to your locale and then go back and then report that on a piece of paper, And
See,
how many
I'm gonna-
times does he do that a year?
Okay,
Multiply that by 10 more or 30 more people like you that enjoy the bush living. That's
see, I'm
Go
I'm going to kind of agree with you, but at the same turn, I'm going to tell you and educate you on this. You're thinking like a sheep. You got to think like a busher. Head down, horn sharp. That's where I'm going. Don't get in my goddamn way. Hell or high water, I'm going to get her done. And what you just said, and my wife is touching me and going, he's agreeing with you. I'm like, no, he's not. Your mindset needs to change. You have to decide whether you're a sheep from the concrete urban environment or are you a busher where I come from and a few others. And that's the difference. There's not this wiggle waggle Hillary Clinton sway back and forth left and right. When you make the decision to go to Bush, you can't be like Hillary Clinton. You got to be head down, horn sharp. That's where I'm going. That's where my objective is head down, horn sharp. I'm going to get there hell or high water. You can't willy wallow. And that's what differentiates and separates the Bushman from the concrete, sofa-sitting, camo-clad opinionist. That's
Tom,
my opinion.
Tom, Debbie's back. She had some
Yep,
questions,
Debbie.
I think.
I wanted to ask you about this, the death of, I want to say Maccabe, McCabe, Can you talk about that? Can you talk about it, or
Where did it take place?
in something about McCabe's death remains a mystery? Okay, his body was found in Rush Lake waters. His family and African community leaders still wait for answers. I was interested to know about what that is. Henry McCabe,
I don't know anything about that.
Really? Because it's on your website.
What website?
Are you sure you got the right website?
Are you Sasquatch Chronicles?
No, I'm not.
I think you're on the right
I
website.
can hear his wife laughing. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. I was sitting here going, oh my
No,
God.
but that was an awesome question anyways. It was a good question. So either way. Tom, direct her to the proper venue, please. Where should she search?
Well, Sasquatch Chronicles, there's two sites. There's Sasquatch Chronicles, which is tied to Wes Germer and his buddy, Woody.
Right.
And of course, there's Sasquatch Chronicles fan site, which I am a daily poster, which we call the post of the day, which generates from Sasquatch Island, which I run.
Right. But I'm familiar with your name or something. I don't know what it is. You seem, it's hardly familiar to me. Can I ask you something else that I wanted to ask you to begin with? And I changed my mind midstream. You talk about the elk being stalked and hunted by creatures. Can you expound just for me out of curiosity a little bit about that, and what proof do they have of that or anything about, do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, number one, bush law, the law of the bush animal kingdom. If you're an apex predator, an omnivore, apex omnivore, you will capitalize on the easiest accumulation of protein to harvest at the given season.
Well, an elk is a big animal.
Yeah, you don't go after the mums and the dads, you go after the fawn drops. So right now, the Olympic project over in the Olympic Peninsula in Washington State, led by Derek Randles, they're on the fawn drops right now. I've been working fawn drops up in British Columbia, Canada for many years, up in the alpine areas. So whether it be deer or elk, some regions on the mainland, which is moose, which is, all encompasses your ungulates, your hoofed animals, fawn drops are huge. And there's a reason why, in the urban setting, look at the doe deer with their babies here in suburbia. Yeah, you see a few of that. But you go up into the alpines above tree line, you'd be amazed at how many does you see with fawns. And that's what all of the apex carnivores and the apex omnivores are targeting. They want to get after the fawns. I've been on islands where I've seen a doe with 3 fawns, which is a rarity. It's not, out of the question, but it's a rarity. And all of a sudden you see the fur piles and the blood stains. And all of a sudden you see that same doe barking, looking for her babies. Well, they're gone. There's some big black bear burping away because he ate all 3 of them in a week period. So fawn drops are a huge accumulation of seasonal protein at a given time. Omnivores and especially the carnivores will capitalize on that. And with elk, everyone goes, oh, elk are so big. They got big horns. They got this. As a hunter who's hunting for food social ceremonial for my freezer, if I'm lucky enough to get an elk tag, I'm not going to go after a big, huge Roosevelt Royal elk with 6 tines on one side and 8 in the other.
Tough
That thing's
meat.
a pony bull. He's tough. I'm going to go after, I want to get a 3x2 or 2x2,
Yeah.
a nice small little buck. And if I'm lucky enough to pull a tag that gives me a female, well, I'm going to get a small female because the meat's tender. It's not ruddy. It's not gamey. It's not sinewy. It's
She
not
doesn't
tough.
have kids.
Hey.
No ties. You know
Well,
what
yeah,
I'm saying?
you
You know?
can't shoot them. Yeah.
No kids. Enough time. I was
So-
going to ask you something else I'm interested to know about. You're a member of, now I'm going to try this, the Kawakawaka. How do you say the tribe that you're a member of?
Do exactly what I'm going to say. Shakespearean stanzas. Say what I'm going to say right now and repeat it. Do the walk of the quack, walkie walk. Say it.
Quack, walkie, walk.
Walk of the quack, walk,
Yeah,
walk.
there you go.
Do
You'll never
the
forget.
walk of the quack,
You're
walkie,
so
walk.
in America, we call them Native Americans. I know that I've been told by Canadians, y'all call them Aboriginal people. I am very closely tied to the Native Americans here in my country, and I'm very interested to know, was your grandfather actually one of the last great chiefs of this tribe? And is this tribe, are they in America? Tell me about your tribe. I'm really interested to know about that. It's something like, go ahead, I want to hear you.
I'm going to
Please.
be blunt. You're not closely tied to anything First Nations, Aboriginal, North America.
No. I actually am. My daughter is fixing to marry a full-blood Choctaw.
Okay, number one, there's over almost 500 different tribes throughout
I know.
Turtle Island, which is North America. I belong to the Kwakwaka'wakw from northeastern Vancouver Island top end. I also belong to the Cree from central Saskatchewan, Canada, but I also belong to the Nez Perce from northwestern central United States of America. And I have Blackfoot and a few other bloods in me. But anyway, with the First Nations, the American Indians in North America, Turtle Island, there's almost 500 different tribes. And Choctaw and all that, they're all part of it. So a lot of the people, and this is what I'm educating people on with Sasquatch Island, other posts that I do, that it's not like Hollywood said. There's a bunch of Indians there with feathered war bonnets, and lo and behold, there's people that run cedar war canoes out in the west coast of the Pacific Northwest. No, it's very diverse. A lot of people don't even understand that the Mexican people, the indigenous Mexican, which makes up 217 plus tribes in Mexico alone as we define it, is the largest indigenous Indian group in the North America.
I have said that. I've said that 1,000 times. My father-in-law looks like a Mayan Indian, an Incan Indian. I mean, because I'm married into the Spanish, and he looks just like them. You know what I
See,
mean?
not Spanish, because the Spanish were the newcomers, the immigrants. And Mexico, you look at Mexico as a whole, as a society, the leaders, the ones that are the millionaires and the affluent financially, they're of Spanish descent. The indigenous
That's what I married into. I guess they're Spanish, and they're considered the bad guys when it comes to some of the Native Americans.
You know what? I've been potlatched into the Kwakwaka'wakw First Nation, Seawitty, Royal Blue Blood, and I would never, as a white girl, ever admit that I was in with them. I know my place. I am outside. They've
No,
had
what I mean is I know my daughter's married into that, and I married into, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I didn't mean. I was in.
I don't know, because I would never ever claim that I know their world and their culture. I know my
No,
place.
I didn't. I didn't.
You see, that's what we're doing here. We're educating,
I didn't say I know their culture.
That's right. But it sounded like you were. So
No, I don't. I don't know anything about them. I know that they were mistreated. I know that was.
Yep.
Please don't take
I
any
mean-
offense at all.
No, all I said is that
this is all
I'm-
educating, right? We're educating people that don't know anything about it, and we're wondering.
It
and we're
was a
curious,
travesty, and I've done many, many podcasts about the mistreatment. I mean, I've even told Eric about that book that we both read. It's a tragedy the way these people were treated. Unbelievable by the
how many million? How many million were killed?
60 million.
Yeah, 60 million.
Sucks big time.
And it's the Holocaust that was never discussed.
It's called the American Holocaust of the. I mean, it was unbelievable what they did. The settlers, what do you call it? The people that they're trying to find new land. What do they call? They're called not settlers, but the conquistadors that came over from Spain. It was it was a travesty. An absolute travesty.
They tricked them too, and the worst thing is when you gain the trust and then backstab.
And they did it all in the name of God, in the name of the King and the Queen of Spain. I mean, it was horrendous. It was an absolute
sickness.
It's
sick.
It was a Holocaust, American Holocaust. That's the book I love reading because it's.
Yeah.
So no, I would never ever say that because I don't know what they suffered.
So Tom, much respect to your people and everything, and that's the way we feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he just stepped out for a moment.
Okay. But anyways,
he wanted me to take over just because, just the way, the tone it was going, I had to jump in and never, ever assume that I could associate myself with the Native experience.
Yeah. So, we don't understand, but anyways, that's the way we feel. And Deb and I take a stance on this one, and pretty much similar. Yeah. What you said, Deb.
He's coming. He'll be right back.
And I got a call. I have a call. Should be somebody here. Hello?
Wolfman, what's up?
Oh, is it Capote?
Yeah, what's happening, brother?
Hey, brother. How are you?
What's going on? I saw you. I shared your show on Tweet or Twatter. I just figured I'm waiting to jump into the party bus.
Hey, thanks for supporting. Hey, right
no
on.
problem. Try to share it on Twitter. So what's going on with
you? We are on the air.
I know that. That's why I'm calling the show. I saw you were on. I follow you.
Okay, Capote, have you been listening to the show? Do you have any questions for the guest?
Who's the guest?
It is Tom Seawood, the Canadian legend, Bigfoot researcher.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Bigfoot. Well, that's
this is the
biggest.
He's the biggest, man. He's the native researcher from Canada. He is number one in the world.
All right, can I ask? All right, I'll ask him. What's
Go ahead.
Again?
Well, I'm not sure if he's back yet. Or is he back? All right. Okay, you go ahead, Capote. This is your time to question.
My name is Jeff.
Nice to meet you, Jeff.
Sir?
Tom.
You're on Skype. I can't. You're going in and out. Tom, you said?
It'll clear up.
Tom. Tango Oscar Mike.
Okay, that's why I hate Skype. It goes in and out. You work in satellite. But anywho's, but I live in Minnesota here, so I mean Bigfoot. I'm not saying I believe it or not, but is it like half? What is it like a half? I mean, I know what's the other one? The one up in the winter, the Yeti. What's that one called? The Yeti, right? That's the Yeti, right?
Himalayas. Yeah, Yeti.
Okay. All right. We're still cutting it in and out, but it's Skype. I get it. But Yeti. But so Bigfoot. I mean, my sister lived in Oregon for a while in Gresham one time. We were up there in the mountains one time, and the Grants Pass one time. We heard some howling one time in the evening one time. Some like really loud howling, like a grunting. I don't know. That was kind of weird one time. We were out there camping one time. So I don't know. It was far away and it got close and it went away. But there was some rustling in the woods about it. You could hear it, but. I mean, I don't know. Is that actually been seen? Have they ever found a carcass of this Bigfoot, or is this a legend in your mind, or what? Are we chasing a bear that looks like Bigfoot, or what's the deal? Educate me.
In North America, we First Nations in Canada, which is equivalent to the American Indian down in the United States, without a doubt, we know who we've shared our homelands with since the dawn of our creations. And we have enough stories, and now I'm bringing out, and hopefully we'll be launching in the next few months here, documentation from my fellow North American Indians, the evidence we have, because we've known, Vancouver Island, where I come from, we carved the things. They're all over the place on Vancouver Island. Highest concentration of foot.
Here's the problem, sir. Here's the word. You use the word stories, and we all like to tell stories. Okay, and I'm not trying to be trolling you here. I'm trying to be, I'm trying to get facts here, because I hear there's a lot of fear mongering. I love History Centers. I love history, sir. I want to know about the past, how it affects me, and how it affects the future for whoever it may be. But I get it. There are creatures out there in the sea we don't know about, and
I can tell you one about that.
And I just sometimes I think a lot of fear mongering. A lot of people.
All right. Okay. Wait a minute. No, back up. Wait, Cowpody. Back up. I'm going to tell you a sea creature. Okay. My turn for a story. I'll tell you a sea creature story. You want to hear one? This is real.
Go ahead.
I was probably about 12 years old. My dad did work for Public Works Canada. We were always he took me on trips with him, and I got to see what he was doing. And we're always looking at like lakes around the Great Lakes here.
I know.
When we were doing an erosion control project in Port Burwell, Ontario, and I saw this thing in the water. It looked like dolphins jumping. And it was way out there, and I said, why is there dolphins in the lake? And then there was a lot of people on the pier, and they all looked at it, and they were freaked right out. And actually, the one fisherman just dropped his fishing pole right in the water, and he was going, what the fuck is that? Kind of like that, eh? And then I knew it was something weird, eh? And then I really looked at it, and it actually was a spiraling lake creature. It was spiraling, and you could see the coils coming up out of the water splashing off it. It was coiling, but it was as big as a freaking ocean liner, like an oil tanker on that lake, way out in the distance. Because you could tell from the amount of fog, in the air, how something far. If it's really far away, it's got a lot of fog in front of it. If it's closer, it has less fog.
Right. No, I get your chase. I get your chasing this animal. I get it. I mean, I've seen enough of that stuff on History Channel, but sometimes I hear noises and movement. It's just like people that do the ghost hunting, and I get that it's probably that's ability. But I'm just until I see an actual body of a Bigfoot, and I'm not telling you full of crap. I think
Tom's tried to shoot him. Hey, Tom.
What's that?
You tried to shoot him before.
Tried shooting what? I don't shoot anything.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're talking to the guy that tried to kill Sasquatch. Your tribe told you not to do it anymore. The elders told you to stop it.
My girlfriend back in '91 told me not to shoot, pull the trigger. I wish I did, but then again, I probably wouldn't be here because of we talk about with the curse. But anyway, there's things out there we can't describe. Coelacanth.
Right, I understand.
Everyone back in the 1800s, coelacanth. Oh, it was a fossil. It's died 126 million years ago. And all of a sudden, lo and behold, off southeastern Africa, the fishermen are going, oh no, we catch these things all the time.
Well said.
And Vancouver,
there's a show on History Center
Columbia,
You
they
have
have
coelacanth digging in or something.
Wait. You got to listen to this guy, man. He's trying to answer you.
Go ahead.
And humans. I firmly believe that there are albino humans in our cities. I'm in Kent, Washington. 20 minutes south of Seattle. There's so many damn humans down here. It pisses me off, and I try to drive that I-5 freeway, and it's gridlocked. And I'm sitting there scratching my head going, where did all these humans come from? It's 2 p.m. Shouldn't they be at work? They shouldn't be on the freeway. I want to get up north. I want to go here. I want to go south. You see what I'm getting at?
Else.
In cities, apparently in Seattle, I heard there's an albino human or more. And you know what? I firmly believe, because scientific proof, albino humans exist, because I've seen albino rabbits, albino this, albino that. And I firmly believe there is an albino human in Seattle. I just haven't seen it yet, but I believe it. And then all of a sudden, these people come in and go, what about the Bigfoot, the Sasquatch? Well, it's like,
I understand.
British
But
Columbia,
I go by the
Canada.
philosophy. It's not a lie as long as you believe it's not a lie as long as you believe to be the truth. Is that where am I on par there or not?
No, get
you,
off
you
your
got
ass,
you got
get off
okay,
the couch,
Cowpody.
get- and
I
shut
don't
your
mean to be.
laptop down
My
and
name-
get out in
name
the
is
bush
Jeff. My
where
name
I
is Jeff.
come from
Okay.
and lived for
My name is
decades.
Jeff.
Get out in
just-
the bush.
I'm just saying.
I'm
okay.
answering your question. Get off your ass from the couch, put the laptop down, shut it off,
You
and
have
come
a
out
chat
with me
message.
into the
Jewish,
bush
sir.
and spend 2 weeks out there living like a Sasquatch. Meaning, you ain't bringing food. You ain't bringing MREs. You're bringing a knife, tobacco for me,
Is that you, Jeff?
and rain gear, sleeping bag, tarp. And you come into my world, the bush world that I've lived in for over 30 years. And you live like a Sasquatch, meaning when the tide's low, the buffet is set. We go to the beach, we dig up our clams, we get our barnacles, we get our mussels, and God forbid we roll over boulders and we eat them little fish swimming underneath in those eels called bullheads and eels. Live like a Sasquatch.
Deb?
Highest concentration protein on Earth is in the Pacific Northwest at
Okay.
low tide.
Deb, you're back up. Do you have any more questions?
I'm here. I was just listening. I'm
Okay.
listening.
No, you're back up for questioning.
I don't,
Unless Jeff,
I don't
it's your
doubt
turn
anything.
actually.
I don't doubt anything that anybody sees. I want to believe everything because I've seen and heard things before that would blow people's minds. And so I know that what I've seen and what I've heard is true. I'm in a different area of the paranormal. I'm more into the next dimension, the fourth dimension and things along those lines. But I'm trying to get into the alien and the UFOs and the other parts of it. But so anyway, I am not the kind of person that says, well, I need proof of that, because there have been things I have heard and seen that I know people don't believe, but I know that they've really happened. And so I really am open to believe almost anything anybody tells me.
That's your problem. See, you're too naive. You're going down a path of UFOs and everything else. There are people blowing air up your ass and you're believing it. Get out of there. You're a smart girl. I've heard what you've talked about tonight. Get back onto the right path. These things are critters. UFOs are Bigfoot, Sasquatch. They have nothing tied to UFOs and spirituality and portals and all that. Like, Deb, come on now. You're a smart girl. You know, there's people leading you astray. Your mind's too smart for that. Don't go down that path.
What he's saying is that they are just creatures, just like a wolf or anything else.
I guess what I'm saying is when the last caller that called in was saying, oh, I don't, he was kind of casting a doubt on it. I'm saying what I'm saying is I'm open to whatever anybody is, even though I haven't seen proof of it or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you the benefit. I'm trying to say something nice.
I'm saying, Deb, don't be so damn naive. Don't be, irresponsible to what your core is about. Your core is you believe in Sasquatch, Bigfoot. Great. Stick to the main path. They're critters. They have a heartbeat. You cut them, they bleed, they fall down, they get injured. We have the evidence and all that. They do not jump into spaceships and fly in their UFO from A to B and jump into wormholes and go into other celestial systems. So, and they sure as hell don't cloak and go into a different porthole into a different world. And that's what I'm saying. I'm a hardliner. I have no time for the woo-woo. And someone like you, and I've listened to you tonight, you're a smart girl. You have well-defined frontal lobes, and I'm talking about your brain. Use them. And don't fall into the trap of these people in this holistic mumble Disney Hollywood BS about
Who
these
is that?
Cowpoke.
Okay, Cowboy. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, see you later, Cowpoke. Thanks for calling. Here's my thing, though. What it is with me is, I know that in my research, in my experience, I was thrown into the paranormal without. I was drug into it by hearing something that happened to me and my family, my husband, me, and everybody in the year 2010. Okay. And there were things that we heard. We had a house that we had to vacate, a 5,000 square foot house. We had to leave because it was on Indian burial ground where the Caddo Indians were. And there were people that didn't believe things. And I know what I saw and I know what happened, but
that's not Sasquatch. That's Lolly.
I understand that. I understand that. I'm not saying it's Sasquatch. I'm new to that belief is what I'm saying.
I don't want to scare you off. I really don't want Tom to scare you off.
No,
but I've
you're not
seen
going to
things
scare him off. You're not going to scare him off.
I know, but
He's
he hates the woo woo. He hates it. He'll shut us down in a second.
No, I see. I can already tell in Deb, and she's got well frontal lobe development. I mean, your brain, and Deb, what you experienced is you put your structure on the burial ground, Indian burial ground. Yeah, Lole, look, the ghosts are going to come out. They're going to haunt your ass. Yep. That's guaranteed. I've been through numerous.
I have seen things and heard things that would.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Unbelievable things. I have seen apparitions of 7 foot tall men. I mean, unbelievable things. And so.
Absolutely. They're pissed. They're pissed that you're camping. And
we moved, thank God.
Wait a minute. Let him talk, Deb. What's he saying?
I know what he's saying. I'm not cutting him off.
I want to hear it.
Like
Go
Deb,
ahead,
like when you screw with the native dead, Turtle Island's been our homeland since the dawn of our creations. And you're going to get hell and fury and brimstone and fire and probably pitchforks shoved up your back end. You don't piss off are dead by going on our burial grounds. And when you do, and all of a sudden you realize, well, you don't do like Poltergeist back in the 1980s and this is my home. My subdivision's built here. This is my homeland. No, you vacate. And like you just said at the beginning of what you did, you did the right move. And you're not going to be bothered again. The bottom line is I don't believe in ghosts. I can't. I used to be a native watchman out in abandoned native villages that were decimated by smallpox, influenza.
I know. I'm going to stop you dead in your tracks, and I want to say how. And this is probably going to get this is good radio, Mike. How can you not believe in the afterlife and not a ghost, a spirit, if you're native? I mean, that
because I have a deal with them. Every time I went into my abandoned tribal native village, every year. Every spring, I took out my cigarette pack. I opened up the cigarettes. I spread out tobacco, not in the West Coast native side and beliefs, but in my Cree, Central Canada beliefs from my mother's side. And I said, I offer you tobacco. I'm here. I'm going to clear the trails. I'm going to open up the totem poles that are laying down. I'm going to open up the Big House remains in your homes that you once lived in. It's our abandoned Indian village. And the tourists will come in their dinghies and their kayaks, their helicopters and their float planes. And I will educate those dumb-ass, no offense, I will educate them dumb-ass white people about our culture and heritage. But if you ancestors ever come out and go boo to me as a ghost, a lolelo, I will jump my speedboat. I will leave. I will never come back. You will have no trails. You will have an overgrown village like you've seen for the last 20 years, and no one passing on our culture and heritage. You make the choice what you want. Here's the tobacco. Here's my offerings, Cree and Kwak-Kwak-Iwak. There you go. Hayam. That's all I got to say. And you know what? In
When it comes to the native, when it comes to
1988 to 2016,
got
I
my
never
socks
saw a
blown out.
ghost but once.
But-
That's a different story. But the bottom line is, I respected my ancestors.
Okay, can I tell
And
you a
they
story what happened to me
respect-
when I was like 6 years old, Tom? I saw the leaves of a tree form into the face of a Indian native chief, and was trying to talk. And my brother was with me. We both saw it. It was not like pareidoia. It formed a face out of the leaves. The leaves bent in the tree, formed a face.
You told me this one. Did you offer tobacco?
I was too young. I was only 6 years old. I
Did
didn't
you
know.
talk to them?
I tried to
Fun
talk.
level.
I was trying to talk to it. Yeah, I wasn't scared. It felt like it was like my teacher.
Yeah. I've been there. I don't see. I can't believe in ghosts. If I do, I would never go out to those places where my people died in mass.
But my brother saw it too.
Feel it. You can look
He
at your
saw the same
arm and see
thing.
the hair standing on end.
Yeah, my brother saw
You
it too.
feel it.
That's the thing that
You can
freaks me
feel
out.
the hairs on your back of your neck and that
Yeah,
crack of your
tingles,
ass
and
standing on end from
It
the
rips
energy.
right through you
and
like a
whether it be
bolt of
negative-
energy. It rips right through you like a bolt of energy, and it crackles right through your spine. I know exactly what you're talking about.
What about Hunter?
Bring my son out.
Anybody else know what we're talking about here? Deb?
I'm baffled. I'm baffled.
Have you ever felt the rip right through your spine, like some
You have
crackling
no
energy?
idea. I've been haunted. I mean, I have been tortured in that, and I mean, you don't understand. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, but I'm just baffled about, because most Aboriginal peoples that found the North Americas, including Canada, the whole thing, they usually, in my experience, now my people are from Scotland and Ireland. I wasn't with this. To me, the Spaniards were the bad guys. Okay, when they came over under the King and the Queen of Spain and did horrific, horrible, unspeakable crimes to the peoples that were here in the North Americans. Okay, so I'm not in that crowd, but I'm just baffled that somebody that is an Aboriginal to the North Americas is not more in tune to the afterlife, the spirits. Now, I don't call them ghosts, but I call them, because we are, but it's just a spirit, all of us. That's what I'm baffled.
Number one, Deb, there's too much Hollywood hocus pocus, Walt Disney BS that most people think we Aboriginal Indigenous people of Turtle Island need to adhere to and follow the path of. And that's what I'm trying to bring out, that this BS that's been shoved down people's throats, like the Bible was shoved down our indigenous throat by the missionaries for hundreds of years since the first rusty anchor dropped in the East Coast and the Americas. It's wrong. And we have this stereotypical impression of who and what we are supposed to be. You're a smart woman. I can tell that right away. But at the same turn, you're believing that we indigenous people need to adhere to this doctrine. No, that's not the case. And this is what I'm advocating, is we native people, we have our beliefs. And you know what? In Turtle Island, North America, Canada, US, Mexico included, there's almost 500 different distinct tribes which are their own unique nations that have their own religions, their own culture, their own societies, their own beliefs on the life and the afterlife. And yet, because of Christianity, we're supposed to be all encompassed onto this one little enclave of belief. And that's what I'm trying to break. The stereotypical image of.
Oh man, I love it, man. You're a man of my heart. I'm trying to break the same damn thing. That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
Like Deb,
That's
I
what I'm
totally
trying to do.
respect your views and your opinions, but I'm trying to educate you, like us Indians, to a higher level.
I'm
That
trying
is
to do the
not
same
that
thing
type
from my
of
end,
light, not
right?
that
So
black and white.
Mhm.
we work well together, you and I, because I'm trying to break the same damn thing on my end, right? That's what I'm trying to do here. That's the whole point of this show, is to break the boundaries and unite the people.
Well, Deb was a great introduction to that. Like, she's just totally enlightened me. Deb, I totally respect your views. And please go to Sasquatch Island on Facebook and ask to join. And I want you to sit down with a beverage. I don't care if it's a water, a juice, a tea, a coffee, or a spirit, or a beer.
If you want to go on Deb's
Sit
show,
down and scroll and learn.
anytime you want, I can hook you up. You can be on Deb's show too. She's
got her own show?
Yeah, she's an affiliate on. We are part of the Spreaker Underground, and I can hook you up with all kinds of shows.
As long as she's not woo-woo, I'm there. I don't. I'm serious. Woo-woos are like pit bulls. I don't go near them.
Oh, you should go on her show. You could do a whole show with her.
Hell yeah. She's smart. She's got well-defined frontal lobes. That's for me.
So now you're talking like you're some kind of psychic and see her frontal lobes.
No.
Whoa.
I heard her flap her lips and speak.
I don't get it. How do you see your frontal lobes? Okay.
I'll keep that one to myself. My wife's beside me.
Yeah, don't be looking at other girls.
Okay, I'm reading you. I'm reading you. I like a psychic. Tom. I'm reading you like a psychic right now. Okay, I'm gonna do a reading for you. I'm reading you right now. I'm picking up cow pasture. You see a cow pasture, and you're probably about 12 years old, and you're looking out at a cow pasture. Am I right?
No, I think you're full of bullshit.
Who's he talking to?
12 years old, I was out in the fish boats.
Okay, why am I seeing a cow pasture? That could be a different age group.
Either you're full of shit or I'm full of bullshit. One of them two.
I don't know. I think I should probably smoke some more of that shit. I'll probably get my readings right if I get higher, right?
You're not seriously. You don't seriously do this reading shit, do you?
Okay.
Don't you be going woo-woo on me.
Okay, now I'm going to go all woo-woo on you.
Don't you dare.
Okay, if I was to go woo-woo on you, and I was to pick the King of Cups.
No.
It represents a man with light brown hair and hazel eyes. He's a man of business, law, and divinity. He may be friendly and creative, with incredible intelligence in the arts and sciences. He is disposed in favor of the subject of the reading of kindness, libertarity, and generosity. That's your card, dude.
No, it's not my card.
I just picked it out randomly.
You can't pick my card because I'm a Hamatsa. That's for you and the listeners to research. Hamatsa.
Actually, I think the card described you pretty good.
No, didn't. Can't. The society I belong to, the secret society, the Hamat, the tarot cards have never worked.
Anyways, the way I use them is different than other people. I just use my gut instinct from Mother Gaia herself.
No, it don't work with me. I belong to Bukbak-Walanuksui, the cannibal from the north end of the world. Your tarot cards, which are European descent, Asian descent, I've done enough.
Actually, it goes to Egypt.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Doesn't work. Helmets, because you're in North America and you're in Turtle Island, you can't. You'll probably beat me. You cannot fuck with us. Quack-quack-you-walk. Helmet says the things.
I believe that because I can mind block anyone I want to. So I believe that.
Better study about helmets.
What do you think of that, Deb? Did I suck?
I'm right on top of that, Mike. That's an answer that you give when you don't want to engage. No, I'm just listening, to be honest with you. I'm just listening. I'm enjoying what I'm listening to.
Did my reading suck?
I think it was a little quick. I mean, you don't know much about him, do you? Like, as far as
No,
his...
I just seeing the pictures in my mind and just trying to do it.
I believe that you saw that. But I don't believe it was... I don't think it was attached to him. Maybe, but there's other people that you could be picking up.
That's weird. I see it. Okay,
No,
I think it's someone else. You might be right. It's someone else in the chat room. It might
See,
be
the
Ron
worst
J.
part, Mike, is I might have wanted you to see what I wanted you to see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's
now
true.
you're...
That's true.
Come
What
on.
I saw was a cow. I saw cows in the pasture, and I could almost smell the grass and everything. I could see it. It was like a remote viewing I did.
Can I go to bed now?
Yeah, man.
You pushed me to the edge of the woo. It's time to say goodnight.
Oh, man. We love you, man. We had to push you to the edge of the woo because we knew you needed to go to sleep. That's why we did it.
No, I'm politely shutting you down.
I know. But you know what? When we get to this part of the night, we always go to the woo-woo. And because it's silly.
I
and
leave
fun.
that to you and Deb.
Doesn't
You
mean
guys
we
do.
believe in it. It
I
doesn't
don't
mean
do the
we
woo.
believe in it. I'll link you up with Deb, okay?
Yeah, definitely. And both you and Deb, out of all respect, it's been enjoyable. But please do study Quack-Quack-You-Walk helmets.
All right.
Side
we will.
I belong to, because don't want to push my numbers. That's all I got to say.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. You were
Thank you
amazing.
very much.
Awesome.
Peggy and
Awesome.
I, Oculus, go in peace. Thank you very much.
Number one, barnacles. And also, what's the other word now?
I'm going to.
What was the other key word? I forget it now.
I'm going to
It's
piddle.
not pissing. It's piddling. Piddling barnacles. There we go. Everyone, okay.
There we go.
Say it over and over. Piddling barnacles. Piddling barnacles. Piddling barnacles. Everyone, fucking drink now.
Yeah. And Deb, get a hold of me. I want to talk to you.
Good night, Dick.
Good night.
All right, buddy. Did he say he wanted to talk to us? Oh yeah. He wants to talk to you, Deb, right? Deb?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I just stay
he
on
wants
mute.
to talk to you. Didn't he just say? He wants to be on your show. Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah, that's
That's
good.
awesome. There you go. You got a guest. He's awesome.
Oh, I can get guests. I really don't do a lot of guests.
I know, but this time you should do it.
I might do that. Thank you very much. That's nice of you to do that.
He's awesome. You'll love him. He's so funny. He's hilarious, and you'll love this guy. You're gonna love this.
Mike, you know I'm honest. I don't lie. Don't make me do this.
Go ahead.
No.
Yeah, do it.
No.
Drop
No.
the bomb. What
No.
are you gonna say?
No.
Do it.
No. I'm just going to say, how about them Cowboys?
No. Hey, I can't help it. Who calls in my show?
Is that Jeff? Are they listening?
Jeff the Gray.
No, the other guy, the guy that was on. I don't know. Hi, Jeff. Apocalypse.
No, this is Jeff the Gray.
Up
I
in
like
a moment
Jeff.
is Jeff the Gray.
Oh, please.
That's me. Don't confuse me with somebody else.
No, I can't do that. I was confused about some things that he was saying. That's all. Don't make me do this.
Jeff, you're on.
I'm on.
What did you
I'm
think,
here,
Jeff?
What do I think? I only believe in things that I've seen, and I've never seen the Sasquatch or... I don't know.
Okay, but
I
also you've seen like shadow creatures like she has as well. With red eyes and stuff.
I've seen stuff that I believe that I've seen, and I can't deny that. I mean, I don't want to prove it to anybody. I don't have to prove it to anybody. If I've seen it, I've seen it. No one can change my mind about it.
Exactly the way they feel about when they've seen the Sasquatch.
Well, this is what I was suggesting. I've learned recently in the past, whatever, to respect what other people believe, because I've had people not respect what I know to be true that's happened to me.
It makes you feel so shitty, eh, Deb?
Yeah,
Doesn't it
you
make
know
you
what I'm
feel
saying?
so crappy inside?
Exactly.
No one believes what you're saying, and like they believe everything else you say. You can stand up in court and say that guy raped me, and they'll put him in jail, but they don't believe when you say I saw a UFO.
Where would you get rape out of that? Oh my god!
I
was
do.
a Wolfman rant.
Yeah, I respect people's beliefs, and if they've seen something, I'm not going to tell them that they haven't seen it.
Right.
I can't do that.
I kind of felt that from, that's all bullshit or something like that. I found it interesting. I was just raised to be honest. I'm sorry. I must have missed something that everybody else that has this politeness about things. I'm just more direct. And some people take that as being mean or rude, but I'm just direct. I'm honest with people. That's the way I was raised.
That's what we love about you, Deb. That's what we love about you. We're the same way.
I felt that it was strange that he did not connect at all with an afterlife or the spirit, because that's all that North Americans are about. The ones that I've encountered, and
and me too. But still, he got into that. He did get into that though, and he just doesn't like the ones.
Woo-woo.
You know what? He doesn't like the ones that say that it's an interdimensional being and stuff. It's not. It doesn't go into other dimensions. It's a creature. That's all he's trying to say.
Well, but I wasn't talking about that. I was trying to tell him that I'm from a different area of the paranormal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know, and yeah, he doesn't like that, and he'll shut us down in a blind second.
Well, see, that's not the way I do business. I don't like to shut people down and laugh at people. And
well, he told me that. He said if we get too much in the woo-woo, he'll shut us down.
But I think that's insulting. Okay, Debbie, shut up. No, say it.
I can see his.
Shut up, Debbie.
But no, it's not really about the spiritual, like ghosts and stuff. He was just basically meaning, like, don't tell me that Sasquatch is interdimensional.
No, I wasn't saying that. Is that what I came across as saying?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
No, he entertained it, but realize he was on the air with me for 5 hours.
Right. Hold on, Victor's saying something.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to talk to that guy, Victor. He's a prick. Don't get him out of jail. He's an absolute. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
Mook Boy from the chat room says next week you should have an African American. We can ask them about ancient wisdom from the ghetto.
Oh my God. You know something?
Well,
someday,
you know what? Maybe Eric the Protector could probably arrange that. I don't know who else could do it.
You're terrible. My dad used to say, "You win some, you lose some, and some get rained out." I mean, that's all there is. We can't all have a good day. It can't all be. I didn't like the way he was talking. That's all I have to say there. You know what I mean? I just sounded like him.
You're not talking about the guest though. You're talking about who?
Moog Boy is what I was talking about just
okay.
right.
Yeah.
Eric is the shady and the awesome.
Yeah, we don't need
Eric's
to do that. Actually, you guys may not know it, but the skeptic I had on is an African American.
What skeptic is that? The guy that was just on?
The Master Mastabo, my Joseph. my skeptic that we roasted pretty much tonight.
I didn't
Cruel.
hear. I was on my 5-hour show.
The guest roasted him good, and had to put him in the
Really?
dungeon at one point because he was screaming at the guest.
You never saw my picture I made of you, did you?
Oh, which one?
I drew a picture for you, just like I did of Willie roasting the penguin. I'll drop it in our Skype chat right now. I can't believe you haven't seen it. I'm so sad.
Did you put it on Twitter?
No, I didn't tweet it. I'm going to put it in our Skype chat right now. I want you to see this stupid picture I made for you. I'm so happy about
I
it.
want to see it.
Ready?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, special just for you, Mike.
Thank you.
It's sort of an offering of, I'm sorry I'm a fucking bitch sometimes. I guess you
No.
could say.
We're joined forces now. We're on a team, girl. You
Here it
know that.
comes.
We're the Spreaker Underground.
Okay, look in the chat room that we're in right now between you and me and Jeff.
All right. Willie and his penguin pizza.
Do you see it, Jeff, or anybody?
Yeah. Warning: don't piss off the wolf man.
It's
got
Igor. It says
Igor.
Oh yeah, Igor. Yeah, I've seen. Oh no, I saw it. It was
Because
perfect.
get it, if you piss off the wolf man, then Igor steps in.
Okay, now the Igor thing. I was looking for an icon like that, so that'd be perfect for me to use that icon. I love it. Just need to put one with a big, like
I can put anything in his hand.
like a big
Electrocution.
hammer behind his back or something. That'd be funny. I'm ready to bonk someone.
I was going to phase your. Do you have a brand yet? Have you cartoonized yourself yet? What are you going to use for your? You need your face on something because I was going to blend them together like a double vision thing where you're part Wolfman and part Igor. You know what I mean?
I actually miss Kurt right now. That's weird.
I know, but what do you do? I know. What do you do? I mean, something's wrong with him or something. He's
I
not.
miss him. Do you miss him
hurt.
too? Do you miss him, Deb?
Yeah, but you know
Not
what
really,
do you do? No, I do. Of course, I talked to him tonight. But what do you do? That he's acting strange. I think for whatever reason or other. Yeah,
I'm gonna call him.
he went to sleep I think he went to sleep. Let me see what time he told me he was going to go to bed. He said he was going to go to bed at 1:01 a.m.
It don't matter. I'll call him anyway. If he answers, he answers. Right. I got an open line. I got two open lines. I got two open lines right now. We can even do prank calls. Oh my God, the ones that you did, Deb, the one you did is so funny. Have you heard it?
The one we called Toys R Us.
Yeah. Have you heard it back? It's hilarious.
I heard you in a show the other day. It was pretty funny when I had not heard that. I forgot we even did that, and I had that music playing in the background of Israel, the guy that, the one of the big fat Hawaiian guy. I said, I don't even know where the music's coming from.
I put that in the background a little bit quiet just to freak him out a bit. I don't know why I did that. I don't know. No, you requested the song before that, so I just kept it going and just turned it down, and then we did the call. And I thought, I'll leave it in there.
Yeah, it was funny. It was good stuff. I like a good call like that.
All you got to do is go to SoundCloud, and then Moog Boy, and it's right there. Moog Boy, SoundCloud. He's got all of our prank calls perfectly put it in SoundCloud for us. Oh, yeah. It's awesome. I could go there right now, but we're not going to. We only have 10 minutes left, and then we're gone. But thank you so much, everyone. Deb, that's awesome.
No problem. I just felt really misunderstood or something.
I want to ask you something since you're there with me about the tall shadow creature figure you saw.
Okay, I was on my show on Blog Talk Radio, and I'd gotten off, and it was 4:00 in the morning. Something was bothering me. I couldn't sleep. There was like a portal somewhere they found around either my master bedroom closet or something. Well, I was so scared that I went on Blog Talk Radio, and some people were on that specialized in this, and he called himself Prince, a wonderful African American man. I go on to his show in his chat room, and I said, Prince, I need you. And he goes, Debbie's in the chat room. Debbie, what's wrong? Call in. And I called in. He had a very popular show. I said, Prince, I need you. He goes, what's wrong? I said, I don't know. Prince cancels his show, calls me on Skype, and he says, go on webcam. I flip on my webcam. He goes, don't move. I said, why? And he goes, I'm going to screenshot this. Standing behind me on my webcam, there was this gigantic 7 foot tall, 8 foot tall, look like an Indian with real broad shoulders, and you could see he had like this thing, and he goes, Debbie, don't, and it was just, I mean, I'm getting chills talking about this. And so we went down to the county courthouse and found out by the historical plats that there was 700 Caddo Indians slaughtered, which was right by the river that flows. We were on a watershed to begin with, which is horrible. And there was Indians slaughtered all over the land that we were on. And then we found out that a family was murdered. 13 people of the Badgett family in 1935, you can look this up, was slaughtered on the spot that our houses were built. And those houses were not supposed to be built there. Big, gigantic custom homes. So there you go. And it was a nightmare. I could sit here for 3 hours and tell you story after story after story. We ended up having to move. It was so bad.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty scary.
I wish I was there, Deb. You know, I wish I was there because I could have fucking got rid of that shit for you.
We had a priest come over and he left. He stayed 5 minutes and said, I got to go.
I've done it. I do this for people. I can get rid of those shit.
We had that crew from that show, the Ghost something, the big one. They came out and set up cameras everywhere, and 2 of the camera operators wouldn't come back the next day.
I got an open line, Willie, if you want to call in. The 775-990-8447, totally open. Also, the Wolfman Mike 47 line on Skype is totally open right now. And I also have my Canadian line, 226-271-3466, also wide open. Anyone who wants to call? We got about 10 minutes left. But yeah. I was trying to get Willie to call. Don't you want to hear him?
Where's the Willie at? I didn't.
Jeff's still there. Jeff, you're still there.
I didn't see him. I was in Alaska last month, and I didn't see Willie there.
I like the second show, man. I don't have to worry about like breaks or nothing. You know what I mean? We just talk.
Have a chat message from Darren Hedgewald.
You don't ever have to worry about anything. When you break loose and be honest and open and do what you do and be Wolfman, that's when it's going to start rocking. Because if you're at this infancy and you're already getting 44 plays at 4 o'clock in the morning, there's a big chance that it could go far, but you've got to break loose and not worry about a goddamn thing. If you feel it, without being rude and ugly like some people are, just be honest. And you're not always going to like everybody.
Deb, you're coming with me. Deb, you and I are partners. We're going together on this. I'm going to take you.
No, you're coming with me. You're coming with me. I'm the talent.
Oh, man.
Fuck yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
You two get a room.
Oh, blow us, Jared. You're in. Tonight, Jeff is actually in the middle of drama. Get it? Between you and I? Never mind.
Yeah.
I just think that's funny. But
we ain't going to fight anymore. We're joining forces instead. It's way better.
It's a lot easier if you just do that and not fight.
Yeah, fighting is stupid.
Ouch.
Especially when we got like 4 minutes, 5 minutes left. There's no reason to fight. Gurgling and that's it.
Sometimes there's a reason, but the thing I get is when we have people. Oh God, Debbie, stop it! When people they have no proof of Sasquatch. We have all kinds of EVPs and testimonials and stuff. Shut the fuck up, Debbie. Okay.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, we actually no, but they got some shit too that I've actually been disclosed that nobody else has seen or heard.
Boy, that's negativity, schmegativity.
Actually, have got inside information from these guys that they've sent me that I'm not allowed to talk about or say because until they disclose it. But It's real. I'm going to tell you right now, it's real. There's no doubt about it in my mind. It's fucking real. They exist. They got footage. Barry's got footage of the thing, and it's real. There's no two ways about it. It's fucking real. You can see them all, and it's real. His niece took the footage when they were on doing this thing, and yeah, I totally believe there is Sasquatch. I don't know what they are, but they're real.
He said they were big monkeys. That sounds like a gorilla, but I'm not just saying,
Yeah, well, that's what he said. He said they're mostly gorilla, and maybe like smart like a chimpanzee. Maybe a little smarter. That's what he said. That's what Tom said. But they're real. They hide really well. But the way that the story said about how they hide their dead, that blows me away. They make their own crude rope and hang them on these things. What the fuck, man? That kind of makes me go, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Did you hear that part, Deb?
I stayed on mute. I was getting upset.
My God. He said somebody was, man. If I'm not mistaken, he said a guy was brought out by a Bigfoot and shown where they buried their dead. Excuse me. And he pushed this big rock off this big hole in the ground, and they had rope, and they were in these kind of like cocoon kind of a thing, and hanging off ropes in this deep hole. That blows me away. That's like, whoa. Okay.
I'm just amazed that 15,000 million people have been hunting Sasquatch and nobody's ever had a picture of it. The hunters hold up their those gigantic dead animals, and they go, look at this. I've never seen anything. Shut up, Debbie.
No, you're doing great. Right, Jeff? She's doing awesome.
Right, Jeff?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right, Jeff?
Oh, come on.
I mean, I don't know.
No, I like your point of view. You've got like he said, you have your frontal lobes developed. What does that look like when you dissect it, Jeff?
I don't know, but I know it had something to do with tits. I'm not an idiot. I was raised by a Marine. But here's the thing, all right? Here's the thing. I'm joking. His wife goes, "You're going to be looking at the man's frontal lobe." And I was kidding with that. But here's the thing I just don't get. They say that people that believe in Sasquatch are very touchy about it because they know that people are going to say, yeah, you're nuts or something. I'm not going to say that. But you know what I'm saying? They have their guard up real high about it. Never mind.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, and that's why I was trying to just push on him a little bit, some of our shit, because, like, I still don't think that he told me, what was it called, the rabbit thing I saw? I don't, what the fuck is that? I still don't think it was a real creature. That was a spiritual creature. I don't know what the fuck that was. But what did he call it? Do you remember? He told me.
I don't remember what it was.
Damn. It doesn't matter. He gave me an answer, so I'm going to have to look it up. I'll listen back and I'll look it up, But, wow.
Jeff, how do you feel about Sasquatch, Jeff?
What about Sasquatch?
Oh, shit, we got 20 seconds left.
Do you believe
Good night,
in
everyone.
Sasquatch?
Thank you for listening. Say goodbye, everyone.
Jeff, answer. Do you believe in Sasquatch?
I haven't seen enough evidence.
Yeah, me too.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.